So, bust the song, as always, intro time.
It's the echo in your brain. You know you can't sustain the misconceptions in your mind. One day you'll see for sure what all of this was for. Then you can leave it all behind. The journey begins. I am the one, yeah, that will show the proof. I am the one, yeah, that is searching for the truth. I am the whispers of the logic in your mind. I am an agent of the Logos. In the beginning was found this thing that cannot speak. It's how we all truly learn. It's only ever attained when one lets go of fear. So don't let wisdom pass you by. The journey begins. I am the one here that will show the proof. I am the one here that is searching for the truth. I am the whispers of the logic in your mind. I am an agent of the Logos. It was there all along. How could I never have seen this thing that's danced all around? It wasn't until I left behind the things I believed that I could see things so clear. The journey begins. Become the one here that will show the proof. Become the one here that is searching for the truth. Become the whispers of the logic in their minds. Become an agent of the Logos. Become an agent of the Logos. We are the agents of the Logos.
Right, back in, I think. That was the end of that. The Logos. Yeah, Euclid night. And there's been a bit of a stirrings about the beginnings again. I don't mind going back to the beginnings and first principles. Back to the very beginning and what's the point. Now, I do think we've done this before, but there seems to be a muttering of the of what's going on now. The point is it's a bit tricky because what would be the point of them writing this book in the first place? Why does the elements exist? What's it there for? What's the point of the whole book? Well, I give you the book 11 is the reality. That's where reality comes into it. But how do you get there in a system? And, you know, how do you get to a proof in reality? Where does that come from? You can't just pluck a proof out of the air and say, that's a proof. You need to know where that came from. I mean, Pythagoras, imagine you've got this system that works. But you need, like, how does it work? Well, you know, like, what can you trace it back to? You don't know. So at some point, somebody decided they need to know where the beginning of this system was. Where you know, how do they understand things? And geometry is earth measurement, right? So that was obviously going on. People were measuring stuff and how big something is, making it square, and the shapes and all of these would have been natural, would have been known. But, you know, as to why, somebody decided they needed to know. Like we decided we needed to know the proofs of what we were trying to get to. So we go to first principles. It's a natural state of things. Where do you start? Well, you start at the beginning. It's the only place you can start. And if you want to be building a system of proofs up, proof on proof on proof, then you have to start at the beginning. And where is the beginning? Where do you start? It all starts with a thought, a nothing, an idea, a spark. Some may call it the logos. It's the nothing that inspires you to start something. Happens to all of us. Happens to me all the time around here. You just have to... You're after where to start. And how do you start? Well, you start with a nothing, but nothing is the inspiration for you to do whatever you're going to do. So that's where the start, I think, of Euclid is. That's where the start of everything is. It starts with an idea. And what's an idea? Can you quantify it? Where did that idea start? How do you put a position to that? All you can do is put a start. And you start at that nothingness, and that's where you go. So the idea of somebody thinking that a point has to be something physical, well, obviously, in reality, everything is physical. But you have to build your understanding on something, and that understanding, it comes with a start, a nothing, an idea. How do you want to understand this stuff? Because this journey is a journey from nothing. That nothing's an idea in somebody's mind, and off you go. This book of Euclid is for everybody to get the idea and the inspiration, or the understanding of the conceptual that leads up to the reality. So you can have an understanding in reality that, you know, it's based on something solid before you even get to reality. You will be absolutely certain of what you do in reality has a firm understanding of within the geometry. But I mean, all of that starts from nothing. He's in there. What came before the idea? What formed the idea? Where do you start? You start at a nothing. You have to. And you have to build up from that. Then you know where you're starting from. And then, obviously, once you've established that a point is that just a location marker, and one of those on its own means nothing. It is the nothing. It's the start. That's the beginning. That's the idea. The inception of you doing the geometry to find proofs. That's the start. You put another point over there, and then you can have the shortest distance between those two. You've got a firm understanding of what a straight line is built upon from here to there. It's very simple. Still like one-dimensional though. You know, like this is at the beginning, the foundations of your imaginings. None of this stuff actually exists. Once you've got a point, 2 points make a line, you can say that the shortest distance between those 2 points is a straight line. It has to be. There's no other shorter distance than the distance between those 2 points. You can then build upon that and make a plane. But that plane is 2D. It doesn't even exist either. It's all conceptual. This is where you build your understandings of how triangles and squares and circles and plane figures and all of that sort of stuff. That's where it all comes from. And your understanding of how you can manipulate a line and replicate it and compare it with another line. Get them to make shapes of certain angles. The relationships of the lines and the angles and the points. It's all known. I mean, that's what geometry does. It builds you up from nothing. It's an axiomatic system. Builds proof on proof on proof, even through the definitions. I mean, of course, a point being that of which has no parts. You can't you can't prove that. You can't have it. It's a nothing. That's the idea. The point, right? The point of you doing this is the idea for you to do it. It's the spark. It's the logos. That's where the logos exists. In that nothing that gives you the spark to gain all the knowledge that you can. To gain an understanding of a proof. It's weird. People fighting over nothing, over the point, what the point of it all is. I just think this sort of at the base of the understanding of the first principles of anything, you should go back to ask yourself, what is it I can prove to myself? And if there's nothing there, then it'd be definitely worthwhile looking into Euclidean geometry. It's not It's not what you think it is. It's not what the school teachers have made you believe it is. It's more of a logic self-help book, akin to, because I mean it is the second most popular book or most publications or most rewrites. I don't know. Two most popular books, the Bible and the Elements. They're both very, well, I would say, similar-ish books. They both start off with a story about a nothing that inspires. At first there was the word, and that word was logos to some. And when the other book starts off with a nothing that is the inspiration for the reason for you to do the geometry. Geometry just isn't something that somebody's made from like a maths teacher. Geometry's comes founded on logic, and the logic is derived from reality. It's our understanding of how we can compare things together to make equals and do, build mathematics upon the system of like a truth value where you can check it. And, that's the idea of, I think, the logic, the conversation, the mathematics. It should be based upon truths. And if it's not based upon truths, then what sort of a place are we dealing with? You can tell that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. I mean, just try it. Conceptualize a shorter distance. Pay no mind to what Bob the science guy says about his shortest distance than a straight line on a plane. He thinks he can chop hundreds of miles off a straight line distance. I mean, it's ridiculous that some of the things you have to believe to conceptualize some of the models that are out there, when there are simple truths that let you know what a straight line is. Yet there's a lot of people around here that want to lie. Very simple. We've been over Euclid a few times. Step 1, definition. Book 1, definition 1. It's the first thing that you come to after the introduction about what the book's about. What they do is they define things first before talking about them. Before setting any rules out or anything like that, they define everything that they're going to use. So you are absolutely certain you know what it is you're talking about. Definition 1. A point is that which has no parts or which has no magnitude. It's not there and it's not going anywhere. And then the second one, a line is length without breadth. I mean, that obviously doesn't exist either. I mean, length without breadth, no thickness, just one length. It's a conceptualization. Those two. You're going to build everything that we do on the idea and the understanding that a point is nothing and a line is that doesn't exist. It's just... So you can't really write any of this out or whatever, because this is conceptual. This is what you're basing everything on. It's on you. It's your understanding of what that means. A nothing and a line that doesn't exist either. It's two nothings. But this is the book 1. Right? We don't actually get into reality, into solid geometry, until book 11. There's a lot of work. I mean, you don't really need to go through all of that sort of stuff. But what is important is this understanding of the beginning. And who's going to be in control of what a straight line is, what a point is, what a line is. Obviously, 1D. The extremities of a line are points. Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? A start point and an end point. And a straight line is that which lies evenly between its extreme points. I mean, you're starting to get into the bit where you can do things with that, right? I mean, the extremities of a line are points. I mean, if you draw a line, you can say there's a point and there's another point. There's the end point and the start point. You can start giving them location markers. You can start pointing at them. Once you physicalize the line, in reality, then the start point and the end point become very clear. The start point and the end point of a line. In reality, obviously, the start point is where your tape measures butts up against, and the end point is where the number that you're reading. Make sure it's a straight line. Then whatever it is you're getting will fit. The points are just location markers. But they are, to understand the point, I think is vital. That's somebody in a hot mic.
Sensible, you got a hot mic.
I'll mute him. Sounds like he's away for a bit. He can sort himself out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know what more we need to go over the point. Because it's pretty obvious that it's, within the Euclidean geometry, the point is just a location marker. I mean, if you put the point in other systems, then obviously you can define it differently in other systems. If you put it in the Cartesian coordinate system, you could give it an X, Y, and a Z value. You would be able to place it in that framework then. It gives it a location, it gives it a position marker. I mean, a point of interest on a map. They're just location markers. You could point to something. I mean, it's not actually there, the point. I don't think it's a paradox, though. I'm not too sure about how something that is nothing and just a location marker could end up being a paradox. I don't know what it'd be a paradox of. If it doesn't exist and it's never claimed to exist, how could it ever exist to be a paradox? I don't understand what the paradox would ever be about the point. I don't think you would physicalize it. Although, do you have a datum? You have a datum point of a benchmark in reality. But that would just be a plate. That you put your measuring staff on to get a height from. So that would be the point that you put your measuring rod or something. It would be a known elevation that you would then transfer with your horizontal locally, where all horizontals are parallel, always locally parallel horizontals, always locally parallel horizontals. Not wanting to trigger anybody or anything, but I don't think this has got anything to do with the horizontal paradox, the point, because as we know, horizontals are plane and not a point. So is anybody struggling with what the point of the point is and why the point is that we're talking about the point? Because I mean, I don't know why it's come around, to be honest.
Seems pointless.
I mean, we have been over the point, but like I say, I always like to go over these beginning bits, and we did have a good conversation this morning about it, which, you know, like the point of this conversation or whatever that we're doing like now at the minute, this has come around because of a logos moment, and it came to me that this, well, not just me, as we were talking with Mike this morning, that the point of them doing the elements in the first place must have come from some reason. Right, I didn't write the book. It's been around supposedly for centuries, 2,000 years. I mean, who knows? It could be longer than that. Might be less than that. I don't know. At some point, though, there was a reason for them to actually do this. Right? It's not something that they were trying to kid anyone, right? This comes from the understanding from reality. I think this book is as close to logic, pure logic, as you could get. It's derived from nothing in an axiomatic system that works proof on proof on proof all the way through it, every step of the book. There's no skipped bits, there's no missed bits, there's no extra bits that aren't needed. Everything is just concise, and it follows one step next to the other. It sort of it lays down an understanding of what can be and what is within reality. It gives you an understanding of what you can do and what you can't do, especially once you get into the progression of the data. But once you get the firm understanding at the beginning of how it, you know, how it all grows and how you can understand all of this sort of stuff, then you will understand all of the stuff that you can and can't do. It's very simple, the way this stuff works, what can be done and what can't be done. And there are very simple conversations that you can have with people, and you will find out from their answers that they don't have a clue, because they don't even have the understanding of what can and what cannot be done. What is a paradox and what isn't a paradox. Where the contradictions lie within the things that you're doing. If you can't see the contradictions and you can't see the understanding of how things are and how things can be and how things cannot be, you know, if you can't see the impossibilities in things, then you can believe that those, well, you don't even know. Let's say you're ignorant of the impossibilities. You're ignorant of the paradoxes until somebody points it out to you. And then at that point, then that requires a bit of thought internally. What do you do? If somebody points out a paradox to you that has been there all the time and you just didn't see, sometimes you might feel a little bit silly. Sometimes you might feel a lot silly. Especially if you found a group of people that you've become really bigoted towards and you've called them horrible names, and then you find out that there might be a paradox involved in it where you might have to say, I'm sorry. Or, oops. That's a bit of a shame, isn't it? And that's a bit hard for a lot of people to accept also. Not seeing an obvious paradox that's there. And not wanting to see the paradox that's there once somebody's trying to show it you, or once it's being revealed, or can be tough. But I can't see how the point is a paradox. The point of the thing seems to be the idea, the spark that starts whatever. Like the question at the beginning of this is like, what's the point? It means more things than one, really, right? Like, what is the point of us doing it? Why are we doing this show? Why are we going back to the point? Well, the point is, like it always is, the Logos brought us here. The Logos told us to do it. As always. Right, I've got some messages. Anyone got any? I can't think of much else. Because I know quite a few people have been implicated in some wait a minute, Sean G wants an invite. I don't know why he keeps leaving.
Yeah, let him in.
Yeah, I've just done it. It is Euclid night, and this is the point, right? We're only half an hour in. I've rambled for half an hour.
Yeah, I've just got to address something that was left in the YouTube chat. A comment was left. Are you saying the foundation of Euclidean geometry is nothing? I don't think the foundation is nothing. The foundation of Euclidean geometry is everything. It's just how you break it down so that the everything becomes understandable. And you have to break it down to its smallest point. And you have to make the point understandable. And then build on it from there. So to say that the foundation of Euclidean geometry is nothing is a bit of a... for me, it's a bit of a backward statement.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think you can't say just because definition 1 at the very beginning of an axiomatic system is saying that the foundations is is nothing. I mean, that doesn't make sense. The first definition is that of which has no parts, and you build on that. Like obviously the first two are hard. You know, you cannot prove the first two. The first two definitions can't be proved.
Yeah, I remember having a problem with those two as well until I wrapped my head around it. Because it is a bit of a mind meld, right? That which has no length, no breadth, no parts. But if you think about it, it's a system that starts from the beginning. So how do you express the beginning? Some people say God, right? But this is a logical system. It's not easy.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. It always ends up there, doesn't it? Like, I mean, I would say definitely starts with the logos, right? In this, or this book was derived from the logos, right? The need for this book to exist is the logos. The logos made this book.
Yeah, some say religion derived from logos. So this is like very in the beginning, in your face, like religion meets reality kind of a thing.
Right, just a bit of a warning. I've rolled Sean G up.
Right, I'm just trying to finish this thing off, so if you don't mind just trying to keep a bit of conversation going, because I'm trying to finish your point and line video, and then we can get that out. So, because we have been doing this, like DP said earlier, this is from the logos. We've been working on the t-shirt logic. We've been working on the 12, and obviously the 12 is a step-by-step system to lead you up to the t-shirt logic, which gives you the proof that all horizontals are parallel to each other. Built up pretty much like Euclid from the beginning, except we can only start with a straight line. There's no point us starting with a point. We can't prove it. We only do what we can prove from step one, and it builds up, obviously. So proof on proof on proof within reality. That's what we're after doing.
And you can't jump straight into step 12 without covering 1 to 11, which is the way some people have tried to do it.
Yeah, you can't just jump in at a certain point and then expect to know all of the stuff and then say it's not our fault that we haven't told you everything. I mean, isn't Logic Night, but again, Beddy's he's had his holidays. He says he's got some pictures of the ice wall to show us whenever we're ready. I mean, he can come in whenever he wants. I mean, this is a open house server. We're going to be opening it up to the community as well soon, so get ready. We're going to have stricter moderation within the server. We do not tolerate bigotry, and we do not tolerate people coming over and doxing people or doing anything like that. We do like people having fun. In fact, that's what we like the most. Laughing and joking about stuff.
Can't wait for the Buster music nights.
Yeah, that's coming soon, isn't it?
Very soon, according to Buster.
Yeah, supposedly this week sometime, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Emma, did you hear about that? I bet you didn't, did you? We're going to have a Buster. He says his mate Shane is only available in the morning, so for us this time, sometime this week, it's going to be 4 p.m. ish, something like that. Keep on the lookout. It'd be first session of Buster and Shane music time. Hopefully going to be a regular thing. We're going to go into the music side of it as well. So does it need a bit of a tail off at the end?
The music?
Yeah.
Just a little bit of a fade out, I think.
What's it called? Fade out. Right. Let me just right. I'm just going to cut this at the beginning here now.
Just a live bit of video editing going on, Bev.
I don't think they can see me. We're doing this. No, I don't think they can. So come on, keep talking. Now, we said, like you said earlier today, you know, this what we're doing right now, or what we've been doing today, has started us onto this thing, right? So we had Emma doing the what's I call this? Point and line?
Mm-hmm.
Point and line. Yeah, Emma did that one the other day, and now we've got SE doing this one, which...
Yeah, it just seems funny that, you know, these are two things that we've been sitting on for months, really. And it just became the right time to utilise them and to put them out.
Yeah, the projects that we've got going now and what we have had. How have I going? It seems it's nearly done. Have been good, and this is the spark that we needed. I think this is the Logos again.
Mm-hmm.
Logos has come round. It's give us this chance to start with the 12. And this is step 1. Now we're on it. So, where do you want this? You put it in the live chat?
Yeah.
Okay.
And are you going to put it out on the tubes?
Yeah, I will. Point and line. Right, so you guys don't need my screen, do you? Stop streaming there. I've just put it in the live chat in the Discord. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to click the play on the button and make the screen big so everybody out there can hear. Okay, I think it's about 2 minutes.
Good afternoon, all, from the Next Level Discord server. This is a logical breakdown of the point and line. Does a point exist until it is defined? Pick a point on this page. Will we pick the same one? Maybe this one? Or this one? Maybe this one? Or this one? Maybe this one? How about this one? A point is arbitrary until it is given a location. Location gives a point utility. Here is mine, an arbitrary point, given a location, a point with utility. How do we construct a line from this point? A straight line lays evenly between 2 points. So, bam! The amount of distance between the 2 points is dependent on the line's utility. A straight line has no deviation in any direction. A line is the real-world representation of a one-dimensional concept. It will always take the shortest path between the 2 established points, never deviating from that path in any direction. But how can we prove it? Well, there are many proofs within Euclidean geometry. Consequently, there are many proofs of our reality within geometry. Euclid builds from the baseline proof upon proof. Geometric proof with Euclid is the simplicity of the line and form. There is nothing complicated. Simple logical steps. A straight line has no curve ever. That means ever. Thank you for listening.
Uh-huh. I like it. I like it. We're going to have a series of those. All the way through to 12. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just, I mean, we did use the Wisdom in All Honesty music from Buster. I think it fits anyway. Quite like it. It's like SE's theme tune. I think we've got it. There's a good few videos out there. We get the Emma one as well.
Yeah, nice job, SE.
Mm-hmm.
Nicely done.
Thank you, sir.
And
I think that excellently demonstrates why the point is the obvious starting point, no pun intended, for to build this system on, because the point has no dimension and doesn't exist in reality, but it is ultimately the potential that is everywhere. It's nowhere, yet it's everywhere. So, as was just shown in the little video that you gave, the point doesn't exist until it's given a location.
Absolutely.
And
Like
then
you
the only
said.
thing, and then the only thing that can come from that is the second point that was made, which leads to a straight line, which is where everything begins and is built upon. So by having the point as a dimensionless nothing, gives you the potential to create, starting with a straight line, anywhere in, ultimately, eventually, anywhere in 3D Euclidean space. So I don't think there's any kind of paradox about the point. I think it's the perfect place to start.
Thank you. That was
It is.
DP's wrote that one, so over to you, DP. Go on.
Wrote what?
I don't know. What's your comment? Come on.
What on that animation? And
Yeah, he said like, well, you did the words as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I did it all.
You wrote the script.
Yeah,
Wrote the theme too.
wrote the theme tune, sang the theme tune.
I was just a voice. That's all DP.
Oh, and Buster's music.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Shout out Buster.
Yeah, but I think Raven was spot on there. You know, it's the point is everywhere and nowhere. And like I said in the animation, it's when you give it utility, is when it has a placeholder.
Yeah.
And the point is the placeholder.
You give it an identity, right? To tie it in with the logic, when you give it a location marker, you give it an identity. Whether that identity be in a coordinate system, a Cartesian, or just like a peg or whatever. The like,
end of a measurement.
Yeah. You're giving that a position. Now, at no point after you've give that position could that ever move. You've given it its P, right? It's there. That's it. It doesn't move, doesn't change, and it will never move. Even if you move, that placeholder stays where it is, even within the coordinate system that you've given it. So yeah, I think you were bang on with the utility. Once you give it a position, a placeholder.
We're just going to breeze past the Rakia technical support that's got us all here.
I did say that we were having a chat earlier this morning about this. I mean, like this is about as close as I think I ever get to a religious sort of understanding, right? The logos that comes within this. I think that...
Yeah, man, the point... Like I said before, it's like biblical almost. Think about it.
Yeah.
It's
I think this is part of religion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is part of, that relationship with the Creator, geometry, right? The measurement of creation.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said, Rick. Yeah. And how do you express the beginning? Well, Euclid did it with a point. I must admit, it troubled me for a while. I brought this up before.
Yeah.
The point in the line. It troubled me for a while until I got it. At least I think I got it.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Like the advanced simplicity that we seem to be getting at now is it reveals more the simpler we get. Like I say, we've been here many times before.
Many times. Many times.
But something's brought us back here again. And I reckon it will never be the last time either.
I hope not.
Going back to the beginning of why all of this came about should be what we keep doing, hopefully.
Because if we do have to keep going back, and I hope we do have to keep going back, it means that there are new people that kind of need to get that understanding.
Yeah Yeah. I mean, I'll have that conversation with anyone, really. And I'm looking to have that conversation with anyone, because I've got new conversations that I want to have. And I know we've already had these conversations, but the answers are, the questions that I have, I know none of us around here can answer them. I don't think they can be answered, but anybody's willing to put themselves up as it being in a person of knowledge, that surely they should be able to come and answer them. I mean, we all know that we can't answer certain questions, but we can definitely ask them. And
some we never will get the answers to.
Yeah.
Let's be clear on that. Yeah.
Sometimes we know that there is no answer, but doesn't stop you from asking the question.
Yeah, absolutely.
In fact, I quite like asking questions that I know have impossible answers, because I know a certain group of people answer them.
They feel they have to answer them.
Yeah.
They can't say the words. I don't know, actually.
Yeah. Because they think that you do know the answer. Right? There's a strange way going around.
Well, they think if they don't know the answer, somebody smarter than them with, let's say, a scientific title has that answer. That's what they truly believe.
I truly believe that this demonstrates the very fundamentals of sacred geometry upon which the whole of creation is built. You start with nothing. You start with, then you get the one, which is like a one dimension which you can't build from, but then you get duality with the two, which allows you to create the straight line, which is the foundation. Yeah. And then to complete it, once you get the three and the triangle, everything else can be built within creation from that. So to me, it's almost like a sacred geometric trinity.
Yeah.
And I think that little video really started that thought process in my mind that I've had before, and I thought it was excellent. And congrats to all who've helped put it together. I really see this as the basis of the geometry that creates it underpins and creates this universe. So it looks simple, but it's the beginnings of something vast and very important. So
yeah.
Thanks.
Advanced simplicity.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Advanced simplicity. I mean, like it
Raven,
does.
your mic's a little bit choppy, so you might want to jump out and jump back in again.
Yeah, it's bad for me, but that's the point I was getting before I got kicked off by a phone call. Is geometry is derived from reality, not the other way around. It is reality, but it's derived from reality, and creation.
Well, Sean G's not arrived.
Is my mic off?
No, I can hear you. DP, can you hear Rakia, or is he just dropped?
Yeah, Rakia's good.
DP just dropped.
Yeah, he might have.
Have you got Rakia on there, DP?
Have I got?
Can you hear me, DP?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. But Discord just got really wobbly for me.
Yeah.
So apologies if I was talking over somebody.
That's all right. It was nobody. I was just saying geometry is derived from reality, from nature, some people call it, but it's actually just reality. And creation came first. So, geometry is part of creation. We get it from creation. It's everywhere. You can't avoid it. You can't get away from logic. If you try to, you start saying things like we hear every day on this, you know, from our close friends that are opposing us. You know, they have to say some wild and wicked stuff.
Just contradictory things, right?
Yeah,
Just
non-logical, illogical.
Just contradictory. That they will literally say one thing in one sentence and then contradict it in the very next, and have it as being allowed. Acceptable paradoxes, I'm calling them. Contradictory thoughts. It's sort of a therapy. I'm going to do a series of a conversation with the model afflicted. Conversations with the model afflicted, I think, where we go over some of the old videos and stuff. But it's that with there is a contradiction constantly for the model. And having a conversation with somebody, I mean, you'll probably realize it now. Like, you know, all of the time that we've been hanging around having conversations with people, you only realize it when somebody points it out to you that the people you're talking to have no boundaries. They don't follow any of the laws of identity, excluded middle, law of non-contradiction. It doesn't occur to them that they are breaking these laws. And half of the time, I don't think you realised it. I probably didn't realise it for a good 40 plus years of my life. Like, not realising that most people are going round with contradictory thoughts in their head. Not realising it. Holding acceptable paradoxes without actually knowing about it, because you're never faced with these two things. Nobody ever puts them together for you to say, hey, look at this. Well, that's what we're doing. We're collecting them. So yeah, collecting paradoxes, of which the point is not one of them. But the logos that brought us to this point is definitely derived in reality, like Rakia said. The geometry and the logic are both based on the reality, and the reality definitely came first, I think. I don't know. In saying that, the logos could have been the word at the beginning, that was, but I'm guessing that they're talking about conscious thought there and not the actual creation. Because I think the reality has to come first. The logic is only born from that reality. The logic is if it builds from a point and a point to make a line and a straight line, and you can say location marker, that's shortest distance. Well, that's got to be born from reality. And some of the, like Ravens was saying, some of the sacred geometry sort of shows you that this isn't random. The way you can form these logical thoughts to string all of these proofs together, that's not random. There's an order behind it. And that, I'm guessing, that's where you get the understanding from. And that understanding can become clear if you have a firm foundation of what all of the identity and all of that means within the framework of your understanding, of which Euclid is sort of an instruction manual. As I was saying earlier, it tells you where you can start from and where you can go, what can be done, and obviously what cannot be done. Now, if somebody tells you that they can do something that the Book of Proofs doesn't say you can do, then it becomes pretty obvious that the person that's telling you they can do impossible things must be fantasizing about what they think that they can do. It's been good. I like the Logos bringing us things like this. I'll have to load that video up onto my Streamlabs and get it. In fact, I'll get it out. We've got the one with Emma. I don't know if Emma was going to do a revoice of the other one, because that was another Logos one that made us put that out to go out with the Mr. Sensible Black Swan thing. We've not made the most of that, have we? We're going to have to redo a voice. Then we can get it out, and we can get this series of these 12 model destroying 12 steps, 12 logic steps to t-shirt logic. Sean G, is he not coming in? Is he just text chat trolling? Has he done some geometry training while he's been away? Is he talking about me? Is he talking about geometry as well? He's welcome to come in if he needs to, or if he wants to talk about geometry. I mean, we are on the basics of the point. If anybody's still got any more understanding of the point, but I mean, it always ends up like the point is nothing, but nothing always ends up as being something, doesn't it? It's the Logos. It can't really be nothing. I mean, there is an understanding that there is no nothing. So you've, in the understanding that you're talking about nothing, it's always going to be a conceptual nothing, so that you know at that point that you're in the mind, because nothing doesn't exist. There's always something. The only place that nothing ever exists is that place in your mind. And a lot of things do actually exist in the mind. Models and things like that. There's only one reality, and that reality is the one that we all see, the one that we can measure, the one that has identity markers, the positions, the locations, all have their own identity. And we definitely can tell the positions of those things. Once they have an identity, we can measure. Absolutely. Definitely. Very exactly. With as little error as possible. But since you can triangulate, you can get very, very, very precise. Because everybody knows that geometry is mathematics, and it's one of the most precise mathematical things. The Pythagoras theorem, you've got trigonometry. Like Raven said, once you get that 3, once you link those 3 and make that triangle, you can base everything you know on a very exact measurement system called geometry, Euclidean geometry. It's about as exact as you can get. And we know within that straight lines don't curve. And also because of that, all of the Euclidean principles also apply to reality, which means that there is a proof that all horizontals are parallel to each other. So logic, reality, geometry is the measurement of that reality. And it's not formed from some guy in a maths class. It's formed on logic, logical principles. That's what comes before Euclidean geometry. I would say that more than a book of geometry, it's a book of logic, telling you how you can understand reality. So the point of the book isn't nothing, it's sort of everything, and starts with nothing. If you want to find a proof in reality, there's only one place you can go, and that's geometry, logic. Now, you can make a logical proof, but the only way you can actually prove it is to do that through geometry. Well, I don't know. I mean, there are other logical proofs, but the system teaches you how to formulate your logic based on axiomatic principles that build upon each other to bring you to the actual proof that you want to show, and how you got there. That's the system where real proof is. No missteps. Of course, Phil, if you ever want to come in, you can come and have a chat whenever you want, Phil. I'm not stopping anybody from talking. I just feel like I have to. Phil thinks I'm stopping everyone from talking, and I do. I don't want to preach to anyone.
I think you have the best way of articulating what we talk about here.
I don't want to seem like I'm rambling, though.
No, I mean, I could never find the words to articulate in the way that you do what we all talk about and the things that we go through here on this server.
Thank you. Like a voice.
Mm.
Yeah, I never expected to be like that, right? I don't think any of us did, right? We are just normal people. All
Absolutely.
Of us. Phil, I know you're a superstar. I know. We're honoured to have you here, Phil, but we're just normal people. I was just a normal guy. Got a camera from a lad, get him out there, do a bit. Ended up getting told I was a child abuser. 2 years, 2.5 years, 3 years later. I don't know how long have we been in this now, TP? I mean, doesn't time fly?
Doesn't it? 3 years.
Yeah,
coming
3
up for,
years.
isn't it?
Look at that. So 3 years of I don't know, building myself
No.
up to who I am now.
What am I saying coming up for? It's
Over 3.
near enough, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so finding truths, finding proofs in reality, but we realised really early on. I mean, everybody knows this sort of stuff. There's a mind trick that's gone on, some Jedi mind trick. People have been led to believe that aren't. These straight lines aren't straight, but you don't realise that you've been taught that they're not straight because nobody's pointed it out to you. There's always this scale problem, or there's people gaslighting to tell you that your observed reality isn't that because they don't want it to be, because they've got a model. Most people in reality already know. They don't even have to question the fact that level is horizontal and a straight line from A to B is it's a straight line. That's how you know you can measure it with a ruler on a scale map. Most people know that. It's just a strange group of people. Some of them pretend to be professors. Some of them pretend to be surveyors. Some of them pretend to be pilots and doctors and all sorts of stuff.
Some of them pretend to launch satellites.
For Zoom calls.
From Zoom calls, yeah.
Thousands of miles away. Yeah, people pretend to do all sorts of stuff. And I think the whole world's a stage and everyone's an actor. I mean, everybody obviously is. I know now, I'm not the same person that I was when I came in here. I'm a completely different person. Maybe because I've learned how to speak. Maybe I've learned how to act more confident. I don't think I have. I think I've gained proofs and people around me that, have helped me build a better person. Helped me build a better understanding of what the fuck's going on. Helped me cut through the bullshit. Of which there is a lot of bullshit. And mainly, they come to us to tell us about their bullshit. Is Phil telling me Bev level is horizontal? Yeah, nice, Phil. Compared to horizontal. Do you not know what an orientation is, Phil? I mean, that's really bad. Philip, do you not know what horizontal is? Because that's shocking.
A professor?
Yeah. He doesn't know what a horizontal orientation is. I mean, wow.
Wow.
You're making us question this, Phil. Like, I mean, are you sure you deserve that title at the beginning of your name? Surely you couldn't have just bought something like that. Can you buy titles like that? Because that'd be good. If anybody wanted to get me anything like that, can you buy me a PhD? And then I could... all PhDs greatly accepted. professorships of a disc. Could you get a professorship of a Discord server?
Oh, PhD.
See, we've got some distinguished gentlemen in the place. They do tech support and all sorts. You want to hear the way they talk.
Are you referring to the Right Honorable Rakia?
Yeah. The posh one. Not the concrete guy.
Not the idiot. Concrete finisher.
The smart one, yeah. The educated one.
I know. Phil, you're asking me, I know what you're asking me, and I'm saying horizontal is an orientation, Phil. Do you not understand that? And it's really bad, Phil. This is, you profess to be something quite knowledgeable, and you do not know what horizontal is compared to. It's an orientation that's horizontal, Phil.
Could it be anything but, Phil? Could horizontal be anything but? This is the question I put to you.
Yeah. What else could it be?
Enlighten one. Enlighten us, O learned one.
I mean, like, a point? You remember when Rumpus said, at a point, horizontal, at a point? Well, I would say, all points you could establish a horizontal plane at, and then all points on that horizontal plane would be on that horizontal plane. And you could measure them relative to another horizontal plane, vertical distance away from it. I mean, he's getting all shouty as well, Caps.
Compared to what?
Look at him. Anything
wow.
but what? What's horizontal, Phil? Come on. I'm surprised that you don't know, you've got vertical and you've got horizontal. They're both frames of reference and orientations, right? Horizontals are always horizontal. All horizontals are always parallel to each other. All of the verticals, every time you will be vertical, and every vertical will always be perpendicular to horizontal. All of the horizontals are parallel to each other, which necessarily makes the verticals parallel to each other. I mean, obviously. Define horizontal. Dear, oh dear, Phil. Horizontal, parallel to the plane of the horizon, Phil. I'm surprised that I'm having to do this for a guy that's supposed to be a university professor. He told us last night that he's teaching 200 kids. Well, kids, it can't be kids, can it? Students, 200 students he has under him, and he's in a YouTube chat asking me, Bev, they're just a normal dude, I'm a carer, to define horizontal for him.
He told me it was in chat last night to educate us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He must be he must be doing a class on horizontal and getting a bit stuck. Can anybody help Phil out? I tell you what, I'll get you a thing in case you're looking, Phil. Horizontal. We do actually have an entire page. Oh, in fact, there you go. That would be much better, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Phil, come on in and educate us. You have an opportunity. You have an audience. You're a professor. You should have no problems dismantling somebody like me, let's say, who doesn't have education like you. Pick one guy, the weakest link you think. Surely a professor, can define horizontal, vertical for us. Put us straight.
There we go. This is the on the level .live, and this is the evidence room. If anybody ever needs any, this is like our Mac tune thing, but we've got a load of them. So there's a load of straight, and then level is horizontal. So there's level, and then there's a load of horizontal ones here. So all of these are the definitions for horizontal found all over the place. If anybody gets any more definitions, then send them to us and we'll put them on the site so everybody can have all of the things. These are just the ones that we've found. A horizontal goes across the page in the sense that horizontal lines are parallel to the horizon. This one here, plane parallel to that of the horizon. So plane and parallel are obviously geometric terms. 2D, plane, parallel, horizon. The only way you could be parallel to the horizon if horizontal and the horizon are parallel to each other. They both must be planes. So that makes the horizon a plane. Parallel to, in the plane of, or operating in the plane of the parallel of the horizon. These are all definitions for you, Phil, for horizontal. You wanted me to define horizontal? The dictionary does it much better than I can. Surely that would be the best place for you to go and look normally. Or is that where people, obviously, troll professors, pretending to be professors at least, come to troll YouTube chats where they pretending to be professors?
For like 4, 5, 6 days in a row.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See this one here as well. This one, number 1 city datum. Is a city datum is thereby established as a plane 17,000 feet. No, 17.64 feet below the benchmark cut in the top of the bottom stone of granite. So that's a plane, and that's a datum. Plane. And planes, everybody knows, they're 2D. Horizontal planes. Datum planes. Got loads of them. It says the horizontal line is a straight line that is mapped from left to right, and it is parallel to the x-axis in the plane coordinate system. Horizontal at right angles to the vertical, parallel to level ground, parallel to the horizon. I mean, there's loads of them, Phil. I mean, is that sorted it for you? Is he still around? Oh, he wants SE to explain something else now. But, I mean, yeah, anybody wants to go on the level.live. There's plane, all of the different definitions, perpendicular, depictions of level.
Come in, Phil. We'll discuss whatever you want. Sorry, Bev. I thought you were done.
I was just showing everyone. It's a compilation of all of our stuff. So when anybody asks you for a definition of ask it. Oh, I bet I didn't put that on the transition, did I? Yeah, definitions are all in on the website.
Phil thinks he has a gotcha with star trails. Come on in, Phil. We'll talk Star Trails for a while if you want, until the guys boot me. That is.
Entertain lights in the sky. Well, I mean, I suppose there's a geometry element to... I mean, he could tell us all about that. I mean, he'd obviously be the guy to talk about the geometry of the lights in the sky. And he could tell us how that relates to Euclid. If it differs in any way. Yeah, come in, Phil. Please do. That'd be really handy.
There's a couple of questions I have to him about certain mechanisms. It'll be interesting for everybody, I assure you. But of course, we're not as educated as Phil, so, I mean, you know.
Oh, I wouldn't be so sure.
Well, me personally, I know somebody who has a PhD.
Well, I mean, like I say, I mean, I don't know whether you can buy them or not. You might be able to. I mean, you might be able to get them cheap. The YouTube ones that you to put out the beginning of your name on YouTube, I don't know how much they cost at all. I think you can...
So then I can start calling myself Professor SE?
You could if you wanted to make a new character, right? And you could just call yourself that on Discord and YouTube. I mean, who'd know? I mean, you could even go round berating people, like acting very unprofessor-like. Couldn't you? I mean, I don't know whether that proves that you are a professor, because people would go, professors would never do that. You go, well, there you go.
You mean just because I'd have a certain title in front of my name, I would think I'm superior than somebody else and just start berating them?
Yeah. Yeah, you could think that that was some sort of a proof that you were much cleverer than people. If you just went round telling everybody how stupid they were, imagine how clever you would think that you are.
So even if you had a professor tag in front of your name, but you thought a straight line could curve, right? Would that make it so, or would you sound really, really foolish to everybody?
Well, I don't know. I'm thinking now, going over the rumpus approach. I'm thinking, if you were to that sort of a person and you just went round telling everyone that they were stupid, then you'd obviously have to be the most cleverest person around, because everybody else would be stupid. Right? I mean, isn't that one of the... I think that's the Professor Phil method of education. I think that's right, isn't it, Phil? I've never heard Phil try and explain anything to anyone. I've never heard Rumpus try and explain anything to anyone. I just hear them telling everybody else that they're much cleverer than they are and how little you understand.
Now get this, the professor who sends satellites into space, right? Of course we don't believe that, wants me to explain southern star trails.
Wow, have we gone off the horizontal, or is he taken the horizontal definition for good? Like, was that good, Phil? Or have we forgotten about it? He's just got one question. Of like next to the one question that he asked before, and now another one question.
Star Trail night. That's it. Don't talk to Professor Phil.
Yeah.
Nothing but Star Trails tonight.
Yeah, come in on. Let's get him the code.
I'll make a deal. If you come in, I'll talk Star Trails with you. How's that?
Yeah. That sounds good. I bet it won't be enough for him.
Well, I'm not as learned as him, but I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
He might have to dumb down his talk when he talks to me, but I'm sure he could, He's used to talking with students.
That sounds good. Right. There you go. Put the code in there. I mean, I know you're already in here, Phil, but we could definitely accommodate you to come in here, because, like I say, it's Euclid night, and there's got to be something geometrical to do with the lights in the sky. I mean, come on. Parallel light, I think, even. Definitely geometrical. Always a tie to geometry, one way or another. So we invite you in, Professor Phil. Come in. SE said he's going to answer your question about the lights in the sky. We can do it geometrically if you can. I would say this would be your chance, Phil, to come and show us what it's like, unless you're busy. I don't know. You might be at school. Anybody check with him? Is he doing classroom trolling like he usually does? Phil, are you doing classroom trolling? Is your classroom watching this right now? Are you getting information for your class from SE? Is that what we're doing? I just want to check. He's not interested in educating us. Oh, Gadget, sorry. Forget about Gadget then. We'll tell him to put his fingers in his ears. We'll make sure Gadget doesn't learn anything, Phil. Will you come in and teach us, the other people, the other listeners? Maybe. I mean,
I read your question, Phil. Yes, I will answer it. Yes.
he's not interested in educating anyone. Even the students that he seems to have forgot that he was talking about last night, 200 of them. He's not interested in educating anyone. What exactly, does anybody know what Phil is the professor of? What does he profess to be the professor of? Anywhere. Is it? It can't be geometry or mathematics.
I know what it's not. It's not superfluid, because I asked him a simple question last night. He told me to go Google it. That was after he told me he was here in the chat to educate people like me, because he felt there was a need at this channel for people to be educated. Yeah.
Nice. Well, now's his chance. Come on in, Phil.
He took the time to type it out.
Let's get some education in. But obviously he doesn't want to teach Gadget, so we'll make sure Gadget doesn't learn anything.
You can teach me.
Yeah. He could teach us loads, apparently. I mean, you know how much cleverer he is than everybody else. So there must be loads he could teach us. Especially about the lights in the sky. I mean, imagine all of the things I don't know about the lights in the sky. He must be able to... I know nothing. Literally nothing about them at all. They're just lights in the sky to me.
Oh, I know what he'd like to talk about. Oh, yeah, he can't resist. No way he can resist this. What's that telescope they put up? What's it called again? The James Webb? What is that? What do they call it?
Jimmy. Jimmy?
Orbiting a certain point in space?
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, imagine the geometry that's involved in that. Just imagine. Now, Phil will be able to tell us.
I got a serious question for you, Professor. Yeah, I would really like to know this. Yeah. And you're the man. You know orbits.
I don't know
We
if
can
there
have
would
a
be
very
anybody
good.
else better. There's nobody better.
No,
Yeah.
who better than a guy who launches satellites in space?
I'm going to go and make a brew and stuff, so I'll leave you to woo Phil. Like, see if you can woo him in.
Professor. Yeah, come on in, Phil. What do we know so far about this telescope? It's 1 million, I have my pinky, 1 million miles away. It's orbiting a certain point in space. That point is between the Earth and the Sun. How am I doing so far, Professor? It's going to make all kinds of great discoveries. You know what I think that the first bullshit they're going to tell us, Professor? I think they're going to say that the universe is bigger than we thought. That's one of my predictions. What do you think, Professor? What did you come in, Phil? What did you come in? We'll have a conversation. Do you know about the point in which it orbits, Professor? Do you know what it is?
Excuse me.
Hey, Rob.
I was just talking to Professor Phil Bell in the chat. You see how easy it is to come into the channel and talk to these people? I just joined. Now I'm talking to them. Come on in, Phil. Being a coward.
It's that easy, yeah? Yeah.
Well, I don't think he's a coward. I mean, as a professor, he's super busy, right? So, his time is valuable. Well, whatever. It's not like he's just laying concrete or doing a brake job. He's a professor, an educator. So why would he come in and talk to us? Why wouldn't he just sit in a chat and type like word after word after word in a chat and not come in VC? Why wouldn't he do that? I mean, as a professor of intellect, it's kind of like Rumpus. He's so intelligent. He has no clue how to put himself on mute and listen. Well, why would he listen, right? Because he's the intelligent one. I would say Phil just gonna sit and chat troll while he's teaching a class or while students are taking a test or whatever he says he's doing, whatever reason. I think if he wanted to come in VC, that's what he would do. Every day he comes here for this week, I think. I mean, it's been at least 4 days. Just sits in the chat, red-faced.
Yeah, I don't get that. Why they don't come and talk. I don't understand that. So, Phil, that's an amazing piece of technology they got up there, right? Do you know how it's orbiting that certain point? Do you know what that point is, Phil? Here, I'll ask you the question here. Maybe you can type it in. Do you know what that satellite, what that telescope is orbiting the point, and what exactly that point it's orbiting is, Professor Phil? He says that's not gonna happen. I mean, that probably means he's not coming in. Okay, got you. No problem. So answer the question in chat. That should be easy, right? For a guy that sends up satellites into space, calculates orbits, knows what point they're going to go in when they're launched. Should be a piece of cake. Or maybe you're not a professor and you don't know the answer to that. Come on, Phil, you must have even had time to Google it by now, for crying out loud.
Right, I'm back. Got me, brew. You know, he's, for one, he's a globe model advocate. He's a defender of the globe model. So he will never answer a question. Number two, he's pretending to be a professor. He will never answer a question. Because if he's wrong, then he'll never live it down. So it's better to keep stuck and don't ever answer any questions and be like what you imagine professors do, right? If you are a simple person and you imagine that you're a globe professor, no such thing, then, you know, like you can imagine that you're the cleverest person around, especially if you're going to talk to perceived flat earthers like Phil thinks we are. He thinks we're uneducated, which he might be right. He might not be right. You never know. You shouldn't go around assuming people's education status. Especially if you're a professor. I mean, professors don't act like that. You'd be going around giving professors bad names. And that's not good. I'm not so sure of the League of Professors. We go around checking on channels
You
like
brought out
us.
Blue to the rescue. Now he's asking me questions.
Oh, Blue, we got 2 brilliant recordings last night. Thank you very much for doing your thing. I'll have to get that picture. Thank you very much, Blue. I like your CGI stuff and all of that. Well, okay. They're all.
Yeah, thank you, Blue Marble Science. Blue Marble Science. Check him out. He's great with the flat earthers.
Where is it? Oh, I might have got rid of it. Oh no, there you go. No, that one.
Seems I'm having major problems.
I'll find it in a minute. Where's your picture? We had who was it? We had Brenda and Rumpus in talking about this, Blue. It's very good. Here you go. The tangent.
Have a look in live chat, Blue, for your answer.
Oh, look at that.
That's your fantasy.
Do you know what? That looks like that one that we did with Rumpus and Kosho. All that time ago where we was talking about Kosho and the cosine. Except he had the blue one in the middle. He put the blue ball in the middle. And yeah, this is what I was talking about. If blue's in there, you see this blue? I mean, we were having a right laugh. Can you confirm the tangent plane in the drawing there? Blue, you seem to have drawn lines to it. Is that actual? Oh, you banned everyone blue. You couldn't bear any of us looking at all of this stuff George was saying about us with doing the doxing and all of that. You thought it was safer to ban everyone than tell everyone not to do the doxing. So, Blue, can you ever just check out your drawing on the screen? It is your drawing from your video where you went over Jesse Kozlowski's bridge. And you said the hump. It says elevation above the tangent plane. Can we just confirm that the tangent plane is inside the hump? Is that what we're talking about? Or is the tangent plane the vertical plane that the elevation is marked in? It seems to say that you've got the tangent plane on a vertical. At least that's what it looks like to me. And that's the GPS raw data that you... I don't know where you got the GPS raw data from. Or the tangent plane. It gets funnier and funnier, that. Blue, can you confirm that the tangent plane that you've got in that drawing is actually a vertical plane within the curve? A vertical tangent plane to the chord on the inside of the circle, on the inside of the curve, sorry. An internal tangent plane disguising itself as a chord. No? Is he gone? He might not be talking to me. High school drafting students understand that drawing, Bev. Really? A high school drafting... Any high school drafting students know anything about putting tangent planes within a circle or within a curve? I mean, that's what it is, right, Blue? That is actually within, inside. The tangent plane is inside the curve. I'm not laughing. It's just that I've just seen something really funny. So yeah, anytime you would want to come around, we do have 2 hours going over that with Rumpus and Brenda last night. They were doing a good job at defending your internal tangent plane. Blue.
I thought the tangent was on the outside of the ball.
Well, Blue's saying any high school draft school student would know what that is.
Oh boy. Back to the contradictions again. Jesus.
Well, we had Rumpus come in the other week telling us we don't know what tangents were, and he told us that again last night, that we didn't know what tangents were. And then we pointed out that Blue seemed to not know what a tangent is, but I mean,
apparently.
But yeah, hey, Blue might be right. I mean, Blue should be able to explain himself.
So it's on the inside of the ball.
That's what that looks like. I mean,
Why we can't find them?
Rumpus said there was no way that Blue would do that.
yeah.
Like we had made it up and put Blue's name on it. I mean, no way Blue would be this dumb, right? That's from Rumpus, by the way. I mean, y'all don't understand, and you probably made this up and put Blue's name on it. When we said it was from his video, he was like, well, he's just, had a lapse, right? Like, he's just mistaken.
Yeah. It's too good, that, Blue. I mean, really thanks for that.
Wow.
The gift that just keeps on giving, because it does say elevation above the tangent plane. It's like the bridge is above the tangent plane. I mean, that makes complete sense, that, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't
and
it?
then to stamp it with your ball, blue marble ball. It's classic, right? I love it. I won't forget these things.
Yeah. Thank you, Blue.
Blue.
Like, I mean, we've been after a globe geometer to come along to teach us how they do this. I mean, how do they measure this hump? Well, obviously, you relate it to a tangent plane. It's the height above the tangent plane.
Isn't that a chord that runs through?
That looks well, I mean,
not anymore.
To you, I'm like, you might be a flat earther. Are you a flat earther? You think that's a chord? Well, Blue's labelled it a tangent plane, so therefore it's blue. It must be a tangent plane within the circle.
Just in case you think he made a mistake, he doubled down, and then in the same picture he put above there where the water is humping up, that is the height of the, what does he call it? He uses tangent again. I'm just going by memory. What is it? The tangent something.
Plane.
Oh, the elevation above the tangent plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
above. It's above. It's not underneath it. It's above it. Yeah. Yeah.
90 feet over 24 miles. Easily measured, Jesse Kozlowski.
Yeah, so I'm guessing it's 28.5 meters above it. I mean, Jesse did call it a chord. Jesse definitely called it a chord. I remember it. I've been over that video a few times.
It's a monument.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, he took 3 points and bam.
Yeah. Bam, there it is. Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah. Anytime, Blue. Yeah, anytime you want to send any of your globe geometers over, we're all ready and waiting. We've got a crack team of curve measurers with all of the best tools. We've got horizontals all over the place. We are the crew. Anybody wants a horizontal measuring, we can be there. We'll try it.
I'm fixing to get out of the truck at an airport right now and do that very thing. Create a horizontal right now. But Blue, just to help you out, you might want to have a conversation with Brenda because she's using your name as she spouts some just horrendous, like, crazy stuff. So you might want to have a meeting with her.
Yeah. Yeah, I as well. I mean, we were going over the bridge, which I don't know I don't know how close Blue lives to it, but like Rakia drives over it all over the place loads of times. I've talked to Mick West. It was one of the first things that brought me into it was this bridge and the water, strangely enough, but not the hump. It was only afterwards that I looked at Jesse Kozlowski and got to talk to him, and he showed us and told us about the drop that turned into the hump on this bridge. So we've done a lot of research about this seems like you're a bit of a newcomer, Blue. And I know I wouldn't want you to be looking so stupid. Because I quite like you, Blue. I like the banter. I like the way you troll about in the text chat. I like the way you you do that thing where you kick everybody. Because you like to keep stuff private.
Classy.
Yeah. It's good because it's like cat and mouse. You never know what Blue's going to be doing, trying his little tricks. You don't know who's he's sending over and which trolls he sends over. Because I don't know whether you've noticed, see in the live chat? See, the trolls have gone. It's been hot all day. It's been a bed of pink all over it. They've all gone. None of them are posting anymore. That might be because they're listening. This is the best chance they get to come in and listen to what it's like in the chat. It's not normally like this. Anybody wants to come in come into the chat, we can we go over loads of other sorts of stuff. And some of the stuff that we've been going over just recently it's been eye-opening for even me. I say even me. It's all eye-opening for us. But everybody else that comes into the chat and every new person that comes brings a new perspective into the conversation. It's good having new people in to come and talk to. We do learn on our own from what we hear and what we see, as particularly what the trolls come in and what the trolls are having to push. Like, say, last night, as soon as we pressed the end the stream button, boom, Brenda came in, and then Rumpus. They don't want to come in the live stuff. They only want to come in afterwards and talk about the stuff. But, I mean, that was funny as last night, Blue. You should have been here to defend yourself, man. Because those people were floundering in some of the most funniest ways. Yeah, it says, if you don't like the term, change it. It's clearly a line/plane connecting the starting point of the causeway and the end point. Yeah. Yeah, you call that like a straight line, Blue. I call it a horizontal. If you went from the one edge of the water level at one end and the other edge, what do you reckon, Ricky? I would definitely call that like a horizontal plane line all the way across.
It seems to be horizontal, yeah. Water to water, shoreline to shoreline. And they have water in the middle 90 feet higher than those 2 points.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he's talking about that line, right? Now, that line, he's got it labelled as a tangent plane. Now, just going over it, in reality, I'd say that's a horizontal plane on the XY coordinate, and then the Z being the height of the elevation of the bridge or whatever that Jesse went over there and he measured. Now, Blue has labelled it a tangent plane. Would you, at any time during your surveying, ever have called that a tangent plane?
Never.
Okay. Now, just going off a model affliction, can you see why the model afflicted would want to call that a tangent plane?
I really don't. Maybe I'm missing it, but I don't see what they gained by doing that. I think it was just a mistake by Blue. I think he's just wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see why the model afflicted would want to call that a chord. I mean, that would obviously be... I mean, that would be in fitting with Euclidean geometry and you know, if you wanted to presuppose a big fucking great big circle that you couldn't see that was big, that big, that you could imagine was a circle. But you would call that a chord, Blue. So I tried to get Brenda and Rumpus to say, Blue, I mean, would you be big enough to admit that that is a chord? It's got nothing to do with the tangent plane, and it was maybe just a model affliction. Somebody told you to put that. Just write tangent on it, Blue. It'll make you look like you're a glober. People will believe it. So, you know, I think might have got carried away by somebody telling him to write it as a.
You might want to redo.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, it did take him a couple of days to get this video out afterwards.
Oh boy.
I don't know whether we need to go over it again, Blue. I've got this picture saved. I think I only need the picture. If you want to redo the video, I would. It doesn't look good for a man of Blue's stature within the globe. You well looked up to, Blue. Is that a hot mic?
He's in the water.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I'm at the airport. You can hear me still?
I think we might have heard the planes.
Well, I am at the airport.
Yeah.
I'll be flying in the morning, too. I'm going to try and take some cool videos. It's really clear. Like, the weather's been terrible the last 3 times we've flown, but in the morning it's going to be just blue skies. So we're flying to Florida in the morning.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm going to take some video.
Do you think the airports leave the natural hump, or do you think they horizontal it out? For the planes when they land.
I don't think the runways are. I think they're all sorts of shapes.
Yeah, I think so. Especially for the water, the runoff of it. They don't want it. Like a field, like a soccer field. Don't they have like a little bit of a pitch so that the water runs off?
Yeah, for sure. A lot.
That's what water does when it's not lying horizontal.
Yeah, it flows. Any slope.
Flows.
And when I say any, I mean fractions of millimeters will cause water to flow, because what happens is it'll build up on the horizontal, and then anywhere that's not horizontal, that's where it's going to flow.
Yep.
As it builds up and creates, I would call it pressure against it, against itself.
I think Blue might be doubling or trebling down on this. The globophobics. Have you ever heard of something so ridiculous? Yeah,
globophobic. That's why I like Blue.
Should really try harder than that. I mean, that's good though.
He has good comedy. Come on, you gotta give him that.
Yeah.
Globaholics, come on, that's good.
No, globophobic.
Globophobic, sorry. Globophobic. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
I do have a globe here though, so I mean you can't really say not really like how can you have a phobia of a spherical object? Like that normally sits in the corner of a room. I don't think it's possible to have a phobia. I like the idea of it though. Globophobe. He's saying that proof is something that the globophobes won't like. Vertical tangent planes. I'll get the thing of the I did a thing of a circle ages ago.
See that, Rumpus? I know you're watching. Why don't you come here and tell Rakia how to use that equipment? I'd love to hear that.
There you go. See, I've got that picture of a circle there. And it does appear to have the tangent on the outside. And at the bottom, it's got a secant and a segment shaded. So it appears that blue is labelled a segment as a tangent plane. Because that seems to be what we're doing with just labelling circles and stuff like that. And blue, I don't know how blue managed to do this, right? But if we're talking about bits of circles and we're talking about misrepresenting what a tangent is and a plane as a segment within the circle bit, I mean, that's all well and good, but to then go and imagine wrongly that, like, the bridge is on the circle. Well, that's a bit ridiculous. Blue. How can you be afflicted? You can be that afflicted by a model, Blue, that you have to put tangent plane in the middle of a drawing of a circle.
Yeah, let me say this before I lose it, because I could be funny too. Blue, I think you have what's known as level-itis. Well, I thought it was funny at the time.
No, Blue's just got a severe model affliction brought on by boomerism. It's just his age. It's not his fault. He can't help it.
I think level-itis affects the left ear.
Make you walk round in circles. Oh, look, Ricky is putting it. I don't know whether he's qualified for using those tools.
I think Rumpus should come and tell him how to use them. Yeah.
He's got a book. I hope he's read the book.
Couldn't believe when he was asking Rakia yesterday, do you have a book? And Rakia's telling him, I got the tools right now in my truck. And there they are right now, Rumpus. Look at them. You ever seen any of that? You ever touch any of that? I doubt it. But yet you have the gall to tell Rakia what level and horizontal are? Wow.
Looks like a big project.
Yeah.
Look at the size of that hammer. It must be a big job.
It's no joke. Look at all that land there.
Oh yeah, I was saying last night when Rumpus came in to do the book thing, like, you haven't got a book. Well, this job is 95% practical, as in you have to be hands-on in the field, using the tools, doing the job in order to gain the experience. The reading a book doesn't really help you very much. other than knowing how to use the tools, that's about where it ends. It's all about procedure and practice. As Rakia will definitely be able to tell you.
And teach you.
It's all about the results. Right? The results are the proof of the work. That's what you gain at the end of it.
I can just imagine Rakia stumbling in on a job site, with guys like Rakia and trying to, talk the way he does. You moron! That's not a level thing. Oh, man.
Yeah, we've got Blue's admitted he's mislabeled the drawing. Thank you very much. That's very big of you, Blue.
That's it. That's all it takes.
So you've not just mislabeled it a tangent plane, because it's not even a chord plane if you've mislabeled that wrong. It's called a segment, that part. And it is the bit cut off by the chord of the drawing that you drew. Now, the other mistake that you're going to have to admit is there's no hump of water in the middle. Jesse Kozlowski fooled you with his drawing of a circle.
Yeah, that's kind of a thing you might want to admit there, Blue, yeah. 90-foot hump? Come on.
Yeah.
As the prez would say, come on, man.
Yeah, and especially the way you've got it drawn there as well, like you would definitely end up with horizontals intersecting. Otherwise, you're talking about, well, you can't have a hump either, can you? I mean, let's face it, you're stuck either way, because even if you have horizontals intersecting, there's still going to need to be a hump in the horizontal that you're going to pretend that it's a horizontal, that it won't be horizontal.
Yep, my buddy Sean G killed the hump. He saw the light.
Horizontal paradox sort of ends the idea of the hump. Even though Blue's still drawing it.
Blue, are you aware of Sean G's position on the hump?
Ooh. The slope. Yeah, he didn't. Well, yeah.
Well, he says there's no freaking hump.
Yeah, it's either slope or nothing, right? With Sean.
Yep.
But Blue did go with the slope as well.
And double drop.
Yep.
At the LIGO canal.
Everything.
It's got it all. Hump, slope, and double drop. Which one is it, Blue?
It's not 50. It's not 56, Blue. It was way earlier. That drawing was at the beginning when you were first showing us.
Are you guys still pretending you understand Blue's diagram?
Blue's just admitted. It's not. He made a mistake. Can you tell us what the mistake was that he made?
Yeah, he mislabeled the chord.
Okay. So when he says tangent plane, is that what he mislabeled chord as? Because that shaded area is not a chord, a plane, is
correct.
it? Have you got me on in the speakers? Is everybody listening?
What?
Do you have the speakers on?
Should I put my headphones on?
Oh, yeah, I would. Please. We don't hear that echo then. So not only did he mislabel it the tangent instead of the chord, but he's mislabeled it as a plane.
Did you listen to the video? Did you listen to what Kozlowski and them were saying?
It's not a vertical plane, is it?
Do you know what the plane is? The tangent plane he's talking about. Do you know what that is?
I know what a tangent plane is, and you don't get a tangent to a horizontal surface, so
it sounds
you'll
to
have
me
to
like
explain.
It sounds to me like you do know, but you don't want to say. It's sort of the feeling.
No, I
get.
definitely know that a horizontal plane does not have a tangent, and that's what I say is across there. It's a horizontal plane across that water, all the way across on the XY axis. Boom, bam, across there, and then the Z is the vertical change. Right, that's what I understand. Now I understand the drawing that Blue's done there. I would say that the bridge is what Blue has labelled a tangent plane, but that straight line there, that's what I say the horizontal, the bridge is. Right, now I understand, like everybody else does here as well, that Blue has drawn a 28.5 metre hump of water in the middle of where we imagine the bridge to be horizontal. That Blue has drawn a 28.5 metre hump of water.
There's no hump.
I know. It's horizontal.
That's right. No, he's accurately represented the Earth. The Earth curves, Bev.
When you mean that, do you mean water? Because that's what we're picturing in this.
Yeah, water and land on the Earth curves.
Well, the land definitely curves differently, doesn't it?
No.
It does, because you have elevation changes of the land. It definitely curves different. The water does not curve like the land does, Brenda. I've never seen any like mountains or valley water humps or dips in the middle of the ocean, right? So the water acts differently than the mountains and the land, definitely.
Yeah, you're lying again, Bev.
I'm not lying. I've definitely never seen any water mountains.
Are we talking about mountains?
Well, you said you're talking about Earth curve. Now, yes, I would admit that the land definitely curves up and down all over the place. But the water does not curve like that, does it? So Earth curve is a bit of a misnomer, I think.
Well, number one, we're not talking about topography. And the water on the surface of the Earth does curve. It conforms to the surface of the Earth, which is generally, a spherical in shape.
No, the water does not conform to the surface of anything.
You'd have to prove that. You have to prove that.
What, the water level is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane?
The water levels are tools. I didn't mention anything about tools. Oh. Your claim is that water does not conform to the spherical Earth.
It conforms to the shape of the container that it's in, leaving a horizontal surface at the top.
It's not in a container, Bev.
Water does. Like, that's the way water conforms
it's not
the container.
In a container.
The sides of the container, then, let's say. Well, like a lake would definitely be in a container, and if I was to put like me heel in the floor, right, and then fill it up with water, then that water would be contained by the land and the divot that I've just made, just like a lake type thing. That contains the elevation of the land, contains the water within it, providing you've got clay bed and all of that sort of stuff, right conditions for the land to be.
Not talking about lakes. I'm talking about the oceans.
Okay. Well, yeah, but I mean, they have tides, right? So that would be a bit deceptive. Why don't you go to a canal?
Well, tides don't have any.
Because that canal, would be conforming to the edges of the canal, and then the top surface, being steady, would be still static, horizontal.
The oceans of the Earth conform to the spherical shape of the Earth, right? And since you don't believe in a flat Earth, you should have no problem with that. Since it isn't something that you fundamentally believe in, you should be able then to give me evidence that would would support your claim, right? That all of the oceans of the earth are in a container.
Would you accept
who made
proof
what
instead
claim?
of evidence?
And people talking all at once.
Mm-hmm. What was the claim you said that somebody had made?
That you made, Bev.
What?
You're lying again. You're lying again. Why
When
do you
I
do
was
that?
talking about digging my heel into the ground and pouring water into it, or like a lake.
Yeah, we're not talking about lakes, are we, though?
I was talking about the elevation of the land.
No, we're not talking about elevation.
Okay, what were you talking about then? Something being a container.
Curvature.
Curvature isn't a container.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
And the waters and the land of the earth are not in a container.
Well, the elevation of the land contains the water.
No, we're not talking
that's
about
pretty
elevation.
Obvious.
And it doesn't contain
we
the
are.
water.
Of course we are. That's what we're talking.
No.
What, the
No, we're not
elevation of the
talking about
land does
elevation.
not contain the water?
We're not talking about elevation.
Well, I was talking about a container, what contains the water, you said.
Yeah. That's a straw man. That's a straw man, and you know it's a straw man.
No, the elevation of the land is what contains the water.
But that's a straw man, and
No,
you know
that's a
straw man.
fact. Like, I don't
No,
understand
it's
what
not.
you're talking about.
I know
Well,
you
what
don't.
is it then? If it's a straw man, you please tell us what the correct answer should be. What contains the water if it's not the elevation of the land being higher than the water?
Gravity,
Please, you tell us.
Gravity.
So
Gravity contains all of the earth and all of the water on earth. And because of the force of gravity, it spontaneously forms into a generally spherical shape. Gravity does that.
So not the land and the elevation of the land.
That's right.
Can you provide evidence or proof for your claims, or are you just here to call people liars?
Gravity is a
Any of the
naturally
things you said.
for gravity or for what? What? Clarify.
Any of the claims you made.
Oh, for gravity is a naturally observed phenomenon.
Like you mean when I drop a pencil on the floor?
That would be part of it. That would be one observation. But people have made many observations over hundreds of years, right? And done experiments.
You say right. Is that a question when you say right? Is that a question you're asking?
That's just like going, uh-huh.
You're just
It's just like going, uh-huh. It's just a verbal
whatever
segment.
So can you provide evidence or proof for any of the claims or no?
Well, gravity is an observed phenomenon. I told you.
Is it gravity that makes the surface 2D?
Yeah.
You say that, but can you prove that or provide evidence for it?
For the observation of gravity, yes, you can conduct a number of experiments. Galileo conducted a number of experiments. You could repeat the Galilean experiments with gravity yourself.
Okay, the lights
I did that in high school. In my physics class in high school,
but that was a long
we
time
repeated
ago.
Galileo's experiments on an inclined plane, among other experiments.
When you say experiment, what do you mean?
Rolling balls, 2D flat balls.
I don't know what you're talking. Bev is just blurbing stuff out. So we reproduced Galileo's experiments.
No. You're answering the wrong question. I'm asking, when you use the word experiment, what do you mean? What do you think an experiment is?
A controlled observation.
Really? Wait, that's it? That's the...
Oh, yeah. Were you expecting more?
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry.
No. 2D
Yes,
flat
you
balls.
repeat.
We had elements. We did go through that, didn't we? Periodic table elements like dirt,
I don't know what
trees, and rocks.
You're referring to something that I wasn't here for. So
Yes, you were. You were definitely here. I've got it recorded, Brenda. Definitely.
Well, then that's a long time ago. I don't remember it.
Back when you didn't know what an element was.
What's an element?
What
is the gotcha that you think you got me on? I probably made a mistake. People make mistakes, right? So what is the gotcha that you think you got me on, Bev?
Brenda, you said elements were dirt and rocks and trees. And then I asked you what a man-made element was. And you said a shoe.
Yeah, I don't remember the context of that.
Okay. Are you still holding out the chance of man-made elements then?
Well, there are man-made elements.
Shoes?
No, but there are man-made elements, right? You know that.
Yeah.
Do you know that, Bev?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
How'd you make an element again?
You take a bunch of stuff and you smash it together.
So you get lots of stuff and to make an element. Doesn't sound logical, Brenda.
You take a bunch of protons and neutrons and electrons, and you put them in an atom smasher, and you smash them together, and then you can get something new, like californium.
Yeah, that sounds like proper scientific, that, Brenda. Has Professor Phil been teaching you, or was it blue? Or rumpus?
No, that's just like high school.
Must be missing out on these
It's even
parties.
elementary. It's even junior grade school.
They just stockpile some electrons and protons and neutrons in the back and just bring it
What
up.
did I say? What did I say? Where did I say you put them in?
Atom smasher.
An atom smasher, yes.
Yeah.
Just put them in the atom smasher. Yeah, you just go to Home Depot and buy these things.
She just made it up. I like it, Brenda. I like it.
What is it you imagine I made up?
You make all sorts of stuff up. This is great.
Nothing I've ever said has
You're
been
one of the
made up.
most imaginative.
Oh, wait, do you mean that it specifically hasn't been made up by you personally?
Everything that I've said to you and to other flat earthers has really been pretty much high school.
Why do you keep grouping us in with this group that you're bigoted against?
Yeah,
like, what's the idea of that?
Right then.
Yeah, everything I've said to you lot. How about that? You lot.
Okay, right. Not everyone, right? Could you not say what I've said to you and everybody else that I've ever talked to? Because I always say the same thing to everyone. Or do you have like specific lies for specific groups of people that you only tell bullshit to certain groups of people? Like a troll would. You would imagine like a troll would do that sort of thing.
What do you think I've said that is a lie? What have I said that's a lie?
Go on. What were you going to say?
You accused me of lying.
When?
Just now.
No, I said bullshit.
No, you said lies.
I said bullshit.
You said lies. I heard you.
Bullshit. I said you always talk bullshit, Brenda.
No, you said lies. Why are you lying about what you said just not 15 seconds ago?
You seem to keep saying about lying.
But you said I lied.
Guilty conscience.
You said I lied.
Yeah, I said bullshit. Bullshit, always. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. I said, do you have specific things that you tell groups of people rather than just everyone?
But that's not what you said
Or do you
before.
specifically target people to tell
But that's
bullshit
not what you said
to?
before, Bev. That's not what you said before. Before you said, do you have specific lies that you tell groups of people?
Yeah, it's a question.
That's
do
what
you?
you said.
Do you?
Is that what you said?
Do you? Thanks for
Is that
reminding
what
me.
you
Did
said,
you
Bev?
answer the question? Do you have specific lies that you target at groups of people? Do you have them?
What lies have I told?
I'm asking you. Do you, Brenda, have specific lies that you tell to groups of people?
I don't lie. Nothing I've said is a lie.
Is that to say that if you believe the thing you say, then that it's not a lie
No.
because you believe it?
The things that I've said are the truth. And in fact, they're basic high school physics. People like the rumpus or blue marble have actual have doctorate degrees of some kind or another, right? Blue marble is a engineer.
Right. We're not so
Blue
sure.
marble.
I'm not to know. I don't know.
Craig,
Blue was labeling the tangent plane, obviously, when it was a chord. I mean, he should know that. Any
You don't
engineer
know.
worth his weight should know that.
Yeah, I listened to it. I know what he labeled
Might be
as a
dyslexic.
tangent plane.
Yeah.
Bev,
Yeah.
Bev, I know what he labeled as a tangent plane.
Yeah. And it wasn't a tangent plane, was it?
Yeah, it is.
He mislabeled. Oh,
Well,
no,
he
it is a
mislabeled the
tangent plane
chord.
now again, is it?
He mislabeled the chord,
Mhm.
but the tangent plane was something else.
Oh, so the tangent plane is still within the circle then? It's still inside the circle.
It's not in that diagram.
It's like
that
a
you
vertical. It looks like he's got arrows pointed to it.
It's not.
It
in
says
that
elevation
diagram.
above the tangent plane and that entire shaded area. I think
He
is
already
what he's
said
talking about the
he made a
plane, isn't he?
mistake. He already said he made a mistake, Bev.
Yeah,
But that's not the tangent
chord.
plane, Bev. That's not the tangent plane that he's
I know.
talking about, Bev.
Where is the tangent plane that he's talking
Oh.
about then, Brenda?
Oh, you didn't listen to the show then, to the video. You didn't listen to it.
Okay.
Because
well,
it took me 5 minutes to figure
there's-
out the context. of what
There's
he was
only
saying.
one straight line there going across, and that's green, isn't it? So where's the tangent plane in the picture, Brenda?
He's talking about it earlier in the video, Bev. So why don't you go back and listen to it again? And
It's
figure
not in
out
that picture then, right?
What the
He's
plane is
mislabeled
tangent.
and he's wrote tangent plane where it should have been just chord.
Yeah,
and
but
he shouldn't have shaded that in at all. It must be the wrong picture. I mean, he might have put the wrong picture up completely. He might have been actually talking about something that isn't there in the picture at all.
People, the picture that you pulled from his video isn't what
His
he's talking about, Bev. It isn't what
That's
he's
his
talking
picture.
about.
Yeah, it was. He was explaining how Jesse made the measurements and the elevation of the hump. That's what he was explaining. Yes, it was, Brenda. He was explaining how you could have a vertical plane to show you 28.5 meter hump of water in the middle of that lake.
Why don't you
That's
just
what
go
Jesse
and listen
has
to it
told
again?
him.
Because
I've
you
listened to
obviously
it.
misunderstood it. You obviously misunderstood it.
He was going over our video, Brenda. We are the ones that went over it first. We were the ones that have done all of the research to find out what Jesse said. We broke down Jesse's video to show that he said 28.5 meter hump. Blue was going over that video that we did to show how he was backing exactly what Jesse Kozlowski said. He was confirming what Jesse Kozlowski said, that blue was giving the backing to a 28.5 meter vertical plane that rises of water in the middle of that lake.
Yeah, that's not what he said.
That's there. It's in that picture. Is he pulling the video down? Anybody can go and watch it.
No, it's up there. But that's your misunderstanding of what was
I was
said,
very
Bev.
clear. I think everybody else was very clear in what Blue was saying.
Bev, you had
28.5 meters. Same as what Jesse Kozlowski
simple
said.
geometric objects, Bev.
Like a tangent and a chord. Like horizontals being parallel. Like triangles having 180 degrees. Those basic geometric concepts, Brenda.
You have a hard time with very elementary ideas. Yes.
Straight lines being the shortest distance between 2 points.
Oh, absolutely.
You think I have the problem with that?
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm. You can't even see the paradoxes there, can you?
So what
You've
I
not
want to
even
get back
accepted the paradoxes.
I don't know what paradox you're talking about.
The horizontal paradox. The one where all horizontal planes are parallel to each other, observably, measurably.
Yeah, that's not true.
Can you provide evidence that that's not true? Or proof? That would be even better than evidence. Can you provide some proof for your claims? Or are you just going to sit there and make claims?
I don't have to, because Bev's argument for that is fallacious.
What, that all horizontals are parallel to each other?
Yeah, that's fallacious.
Mm-hmm. Can you show the fallacy?
Beatty did.
No, I'm asking you. Can you show the fallacy?
Beatty showed that. So just review his criticism of Bev, right? He showed Bev that Bev's argument was not sound.
Yeah, he changed the entire argument into something different and put a bunch of assumptions together and blah, blah, blah. We all know. We went over it. But I'm asking you, can you
he didn't change the
explain
argument
or show how it is fallacious? Can you do it?
He didn't.
Brenda, he drew a cross on a piece of paper. Mm-hmm. And if that fooled you, Brenda, then I would expect that too. If you're that simple to think that is horizontals, planes intersecting, if he can draw a cross on a piece of paper, then good luck to you, Brenda.
That was just an illustration. You have a hard time with
I don't
figures.
have any hard times at all,
figures.
Brenda. Your gaslighting is getting ridiculous.
Yeah, I really think so.
So Beatty, or however you pronounce his name,
Blobby.
Thoroughly, but it's a B-E-D-D-Y, so Beatty.
Okay, so isn't this kind of like an appeal to authority? Because you can't do it.
No, I'm not appealing to authority.
Appealing to Betty then. So
I'm just
any authority here, or can you actually show the fallacy that you claim?
All right. Do you know how to form a correct logical syllogism, Bev?
Just ignore my question. Is that your tactic?
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well. Okay. By then.
Can you form a correct syllogism, Bev, that would have your argument in it? That would be your argument.
Answer his question.
I wouldn't want to interrupt you, Brenda. You're already having one conversation. I'm making a cup of tea anyway, so carry on, please, with Saragaki.
Question. Answer Saragaki's question, or it's...
So what is the first premise?
Answer Saragaki's question, or it's good night for you. That's very rude.
Right. So what is the first premise?
The question is specifically, can you show which fallacy that you claim has been used?
Yeah, so let's go through it step by step. What is the first premise?
Yeah, you don't have to ask any questions. Just assume that we all understand what you're saying. You just go through it, lay it down step by step.
So you refuse to give the
Hello, I'm
argument.
talking. Can you just lay it all down step by step for all of us to see so that we can see the fallacy in question?
Yes, let's go through it. Let's go through it. What is your first premise?
My premise? I'm simply asking you a question.
Yes, so what is the first premise?
I asked you a question.
Yes, and I'm asking for your information. Go ahead. Give me the first premise. Let's walk through it step by step. Let's do that. I'm inviting you to do that.
Yeah, you said there was a fallacy at play.
Yes.
And I'm asking you to show the fallacy at play.
Yes. So what is the first premise?
Don't ask a question, show the fallacy. You tell us the first premise. Go ahead.
What's the argument?
How can you claim fallacy when you don't even know the argument?
So you don't know
I do know it. I want to go through it.
Then don't play this game,
I want
Brenda.
to go through it step by
Don't
step.
play games with us. Answer his question,
I'm
please,
not
Brenda.
playing a game. So if you're just going to refuse to give your argument, that's not my fault.
Question. I didn't give you an argument. You claimed there was a fallacy at play, and I simply asked if you could show what that fallacy is.
Yes. So what is the first premise? Let's go through it.
Don't ask a question. Show it. What is it?
What is the first premise?
Don't ask a question to a question. Either say, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, and we'll move on, or answer his question. You're not going to get away with this, Brenda. Not here.
Yeah, it's not even Tuesday night. It's Thursday night. We're on Euclid, so please stick to geometry. If you want to come back and do logic, you want to go over Betty's stuff, we'll be doing that, right? We'll do that Tuesdays.
To do that, you need, then I need, what I need from you, Bev.
Fridays.
What I need from you, Bev, is a formally correct syllogism that gives your argument for why all horizontals are parallel.
All horizontals are parallel. We've already given it you.
No, you need to put it down in writing so that we can walk through it step by step.
Yeah, we've already done that, Brenda. Don't worry about it.
Well, then stop asking me.
Stop asking you for what? You were the one that told me. I'm not asking you for anything. You must be getting mixed up, Brenda.
Yes, you are.
You are getting
I've been
mixed
asked.
up. I know,
I've been
obviously.
asked to demonstrate.
Not
that
me.
It's fallacious.
No, you were talking to Saragaki. I'm not Saragaki.
I know that.
Okay,
Bev.
so don't tell me that I'm asking you for something, because that wasn't me.
Don't pretend that this isn't like your server. I know that.
Don't be so obsessed with me. Take your fix off me, Brenda. You were talking to Saragaki.
I know that. But it's your argument.
What's my argument?
Who knows?
The one that's fallacious. Is that the one that you said that
She
is
doesn't
fallacious,
even
that
know
you didn't
what
even
she's
know which
talking about.
argument it was you were talking about?
Of course you don't know.
What is
You
chair?
You don't know?
Shit.
Yeah, you're right.
What is a chair? I don't know what a chair is. What is
I know you
table?
don't. Like,
Who
you
knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? The words.
Did somebody
What do
break
words
Brenda?
mean?
You sure you're all
Who
right,
could
Brenda?
know? Who could know what words
Is your
mean?
carer?
Nobody
Can
knows.
somebody come and help
Nobody
Brenda?
knows what words mean.
Brenda's doing the cry for help. Is
Yeah.
nobody
Who's going to come and
help?
rescue you, Brenda? Because you're sounding like really, really bad right now. The deflection you did from Saragaki is like priceless, Brenda. Priceless.
Yeah.
Gotcha that just talking like a broken record like you usually do. Who's going to save you, Blue? Maybe Rumpus will come in and save you, Brenda.
Doubt it.
Brenda left.
Brenda's gone. Oh, what?
Just a little breakdown. Don't
man.
know what a chair is. Don't know what shit is.
Can we just make sure, right? Like, let's just make sure. Nobody kicked Brenda there, did we? I mean, because we were having too much fun with that.
I was enjoying that immensely.
Okay. Everybody, please take note. Brenda had to leave. That was a big fuck up. Again, always. But thanks for coming in, Brenda. Thanks for coming.
At least Brenda admitted to not knowing what the argument was that Brenda claimed was fallacious.
That's what made her leave, when I made everybody realize she doesn't even know what we were talking about.
Did she say what are words?
Yeah, what's a chair? What are words? Nobody understands nothing.
Yeah. That computer broke down there, right? Processor just went. Roop.
Can't believe y'all didn't see y'all just got destroyed. I mean, you know, somebody claims your argument's fallacious. How's it fallacious? Tell me your argument. Great. I mean, that sounded like a 5-year-old child. You tell them to do something, and they say, "Oh, okay." It's like, "Are you going to do it?" "Oh, what did you just say?" You know, it's just like a child. I don't know, child mentality.
DP's got the chat there. Brenda left the chat. Nobody kicked. Nobody. That was just had to leave. But
when she's arguing so vehemently, and when you ask her, what are you arguing? And she goes, I don't know. I don't remember. But yet you see how they'll just argue. Oh, my. That was too much. That.
What's a chair?
Your argument is.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty.
Yeah, you roboted pretty hard, Buster.
Hey, Bev, where's your syllogism?
We're not going to accept your argument that we've already said is fallacious until you present it.
With a syllogism.
Syllogism. Like a full syllogism.
Oh, boy. That's comedy. Pure gold.
Am I roboting now?
No, that's a bit better.
I do remember going into a debate server where you presented your argument and they said, that's just a syllogism. So it's like, what is going on with these people? Do you remember that?
Did they say syllogism? Or did they say something else? Oh, I can't remember.
I'm almost positive when you presented your argument, your statement, they said that's just a syllogism, saying that level is horizontal, plane is rising. They
said it was a tautology.
Tautology, that's it. Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, I take it back.
And the thing that Brenda seems to forget as well is she asked for the argument to be written down, and it's written on every single fucking t-shirt that's been sold.
Yeah.
How many more times does she want the fucker written down?
And Betty, we had to recite it to Betty twice.
And the rest.
Thank him for that, right? He delivered the horizontal paradox right into the middle of them. Obviously, we're still feeling the effects of it. T-shirt logic, horizontal paradox, dropping it into the heart of the globe Earth community. I mean, thank you very much, Betty. He's helped us out, and obviously, this with Brenda is it's not ended. I thought he thought that Betty had finished it off. It seems like Betty hasn't really taught them how to defend against the horizontals being parallel.
How can they?
Hey, Blue, thanks. Anytime, Blue. We try to help out the Globe Earth Discord servers as much as possible. So anytime we can help you out with getting a bit of content, I know how hard it must get being with the Globe model, failing at everything.
Especially since he has it all banned.
Yeah. No conversations.
Come here for content.
Yeah. And he has to wait until we text chat trolling, right, Blue? You anytime you want to come and text chat troll and then make a video about the content that you text chat trolling about, over you go. We know this sort of stuff you're gonna do, Blue. Go ahead. We help each other out on the YouTube scene, as far as I can see. Actually, you could do it about the horizontal paradox and the Betty and the t-shirt logic. You want to get Betty to start going over that logic with you. It'll be good fun. We might
Betty
even be able
Jets.
to have that team logic debate type thing where we get together. I mean, we've been trying to do it for quite a while.
Betty and the Jets. Boom. None of them have any cojones. Only Brenda has the cojones to come in. Wow. What does that tell you?
Flat balls.
Oh, they're just 2D conceptual ball. They're just imagined.
Yeah.
They're not
Flat
real.
balls. Flat ball,
was-
Brenda. Come on.
That was
it's
such an
gotta
ironic
stick, that.
statement, SE.
I knew you'd like it.
Yeah.
The only one that's got the balls is the one that's having cut off.
Too soon.
Where's Blue? Where's George? Where's Bob? Where's Soundly? Where's Jesse? Where's the main surveyor? Where's Earth is Life?
Yeah, that'd be a good one. People, where are you? Still running. Still hiding.
Well, he did. He's been finally got the nerve up to post on the YouTube comments today. I did get some comments from B-Ball on one of the videos that we did. I mean, I know it seems to upset people, especially on the globe, when we talk about reality like we do here. They get really upset, and they do get triggered enough to post on the YouTube channel. Now, I don't necessarily make these videos and do this for upsetting the globe Earth. Because we do just try and talk about reality all the time. I don't like upsetting people with conceptual models, and I don't want to threaten. I don't think any of us here want to threaten anybody's conceptual models that they hold within their minds. Like we definitely don't want to fuck about with people's minds by, ripping away conceptual models that people may have spent a lifetime building. I mean, it can be difficult. So I don't want to do that, and that's not the reason why we do this. I want to make that clear. We try and stick to just the reality, and we just have. We can have fun in reality, because that's where the fun exists as well. But Brenda was quite obviously gaslighting then.
Absolutely.
And should I get the what time is it? It's not that late, right? I'll have a quick look for the Brenda and the elements.
An element is a shoe.
I think
Man-made elements, he said.
I quite like the idea of just getting a handful of protons, neutrons, and shoving it in an atom smasher. That was a good one.
The atom smashes.
So these ones are going to stick together instead of smashing apart. She doesn't even know what she... Even the bull she makes up, she can't get it correctly.
Right, yeah, this one. I'll put the thing on for you guys. Screen for you. And it's only like 3 minutes, but just to back up what I was saying before with Brenda, I don't like the idea of people thinking. I mean, Brenda obviously lies all the time, and I don't want people to think that I'm doing that. I like to back up everything I say. So this is a clip, November 24, 2020, but this is a clip taken from a chat on another video, so listen to this.
There's the race to the earth.
So here's the clip from Berkeley that was used by Quantum Eraser and or Nathan Oakley as the foundation of your definition of the scientific method.
Can you tell me what an element within the physical universe that isn't made by humans is?
Everything within science, the term natural refers to any element of the physical universe made by humans or not.
Well, can you tell me, first of all, we'll start off with which are the ones that are not made by humans? I would imagine that'd be quite a few, right?
Well, things like dirt, air, trees.
Dirt isn't an element, Brenda. Come on.
Yeah, so
You can do better than that, surely.
So again, within science, the term natural refers to any element of the physical universe, whether made by humans or not.
Yep. And
right?
Dirt.
And so the part that Nathan and John try to claim is that natural simply refers to things that are not made by humans.
Right, so which are... Go on. Let's have an example.
Excuse me. So they try to claim that natural just refers to things that are not made by humans, but in science, natural refers to anything in the physical universe made by people or not.
Okay. Can you give us an example then of something that isn't made by humans?
Right. Something that isn't made by humans are things like rocks, trees, the air, all those things.
All those elements. And which are the elements? Right, yeah. Dirt, rocks, and trees. Elements. And we've just been talking about a QE that had done something about natural. And this is elements, right? Dirt, rocks, trees. Natural elements. And I was like amazed at that. Right? It's one of the turning moments of when you're around here listening to people and you realise people like Brenda that have been on modern day debates, have supposedly debated everybody about everything, thinks that an element is dirt and rocks and trees. It's shocking. But I mean, like, listen to this now. This was genius. It's that aren't made, that are made by humans. Human-made elements. Which are they?
Things that are made by people would be things like shoes.
Shoes. I knew it. Thank you.
Shoes are made by people,
but they're not really elements, are they?
Within science, the term natural refers to any element of the physical universe. They're using it in the sense of thing.
Right, like shoe element. Where's that on the... Can you show us where that is on the periodic table? Just said in science, when they use the term element, they mean thing.
Wow.
Horace, please.
Shoe is a thing, isn't it?
Shoe is a thing. On the periodic table?
No, a shoe is a thing.
It is, yes. A shoe is definitely a thing.
Yes.
Is it an element? It's up for debate at the minute. Could you give us some... So, the sophistry involved in this is, A, you don't know what an element is. And then B, you go to saying a man-made element is a shoe. And then you say, the sophistry in it, you say that science, because obviously the great scientific Brenda goes and puts a shoe, now science, just use elements as things. Therefore, you can say a shoe is a thing within science, so therefore you can call it a man-made element. You just replace words with things, and then you get your way. So
unbelievable.
That's the caliber of people that we have and talk to. So if you're wondering why we put up with this sort of thing, it's because we do it so you don't have to. This is how I get my kicks. Exposing people that talk rubbish, and I quite rightly think I have to point out people that are obviously gaslight. This is, I think this is dangerous. But I mean, I'm guessing Brenda is part of a troll team. And I mean, they're only trolling us here. I mean, we've been marked down as whatever, like vile, horrible, disgusting people. And obviously, people like Brenda, the trolls, have been sent to come in here and troll. I don't think they're doing that good for the Globe, side, because I'm not too sure whoever's going to get convinced by Brenda's methods of particularly gaslighting for the Globe. It can't be that good, can it? Gaslighting for the Globe and showing everyone how ridiculous you have to be in order to go along with it. But I do thank Brenda. For anybody else wants to come in and have a chat, you know how we are. Just come in and have a chat. I'm always up for a discussion, particularly on any of the really basic stuff about a point and a line, triangles having 180 degrees, horizontals all being parallel to each other, elevations being measured on a vertical datum. Up for talking
Just watch
about
out for. Oh, sorry.
No, go on.
I was just going to make a joke. Just watch out for Saragaki, the Brenda whisperer.
You need to know what questions to ask. And that one, Saragaki, thank you very much. Where's he gone? That one was very good. Because Brenda said it was fallacious. He asked the question. At the moment he asked the question, Brenda forgot.
You see how powerful a question could be?
Yeah.
I've gotten banned from servers for asking just one question. Yeah. Shout out, Bob.
Yeah, it's getting too much. We're collecting, if anybody doesn't know, we are collecting paradoxes. Now, it takes a bit of logical thinking to be able to formulate a statement in a way to show the paradox. And I think that's what we're going to be doing at the minute. We're going to be collecting these questions. We're going to be formulating these logical statements, obviously, that can't be beaten. Valid and sound, that's what we're after. We're after any new way that if anybody thinks they've got any ideas on how to get these together, we're going to get them all on the website. We're going to get them voiced. We're going to get them their own animations if they're good enough. We've got quite a few in the wings, ready and waiting. But particularly, I like the idea of the paradox, because in reality there is only reality. And logic will teach you that you can't violate logic in reality. You will come unstuck very quickly. It's the leveler. Logic and reality, and like that's why logic is logic. It's you go against it, you won't do very well. So if we can formulate these paradoxes and find the paradoxes and prove that the paradoxes exist, then we might be able to help quite a lot of people in a roundabout way. I don't want to give too much away, but we're working on a project. We have obviously we're working on the proof project. And it's all based around the thing. We've got quite a few things going at the same time, obviously, because we've got the Euclid, we've got the logic, and then we've got the don't know, what do you call it? There's the tests, but there's also the linguistic side of it. Could you call that the logic? Or exposing the magic, right?
Well, the way that Bebby plays with the linguistic side of it, it's more like the illogic of it.
Yeah, but like there's the pure logic when you're formulating logic, but there's also a way that you have to spot the other stuff. And I'm trying to wonder what that part plays in it, because that's what we're doing, right? We're actually making logic. We're formulating the logic and the geometry to do the tests. And we're going over the geometry. But there's also the other part that I'd like to be able to do is like point out these Yeah, I say you can't call it semantics. I think that the semantics is the way you define things at the beginning. That's the actual meaning of the things. That's you getting your P's and your Q's right. There's like uncovering the magic and the deceit and all of that gets played. You sometimes have to be pointed that out because not everybody can see everything.
Well, that is the sophistry, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's highlighting the sophistry.
The sophistry. Yeah, there you go. That's what I was looking for. Thank you very much. So we've got to highlight the sophistry as well. That's the other part of what we wanted to be able to do. So we've got all of these projects up in the air, and that's what we're going to be after doing, hopefully. If anybody wants to come and get involved.
I think highlighting the sophistry is probably one of the easiest parts of this now. Is being able to listen to what the other person is saying within their argument and being able to figure out what is logically sound and what is just complete tosh, what is nonsense.
That's the main benefit, I think, of the of logic. Or not even just logic, it's the calming of the mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
To not have a load of clutter up there and you be able to listen to what the person's saying. And hopefully we can expose quite a lot of tricks that have been played. And some of the tricks you'd be amazed at where they're coming from and how long they go. How circular the argument is. I've set myself a new task today. I'm quite proud of this one. And it should be good if I can get it done. Beddy said he's going to be coming back again soon as well. So he might be able to help us. So I hope he comes back. He's been to Antarctica. He says he's going to come with some pictures of the ice wall.
He's definitely one flat earther, that one, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Well, he took the horizontal paradox over there, so...
Mm-hmm. He's gone off on his jollies to get pictures of the ice wall.
And then he's made that ridiculous logical argument. Which I don't know whether he wants to get into some sort of a flame war or whatever, but I don't think that's the way the idea of the logic. The logic's meant to be a conversation. So anytime Beddy wants to come and talk about his logic, he can come and we'll talk about our logic and we'll compare the two, see how they compare. And we can, put them up against each other. Dead easy. Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to all of this stuff at the minute. I've got a little bit of we had last night those two videos done. It's about maybe 2 hours together. I might just put them together on one video of Brenda and Rumpus and Blues, how they defended Blues' tangent plane. And it looks like Blue's going to have another. So we might, this us going live might help Blue out with a bit of content. I don't know if anybody else wants to get a bit of content out of it. Any of the adult Globe Earth Discord servers. I mean, they must be getting bored of doing all of that straw man flat earth shit.
All Blue has to do to revive his channel is just unban us. No hard feelings, Blue.
Yeah, then he'd have to face the argument, you see.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, don't be saying stuff like that. Publicly, Blue likes to say that nobody's banned. He was telling Gadget earlier that he's not banned from his server.
I suppose Bob's saying the same thing.
I think last time we were there, he had 20 people in his Discord.
Yeah.
When was the last time you had 20 people in your Discord, Blue? Or 5, let's say.
We bring a crowd wherever we go, but they keep banning us. It's hard work.
I don't get it. We're so nice. We're so polite. I don't get it. Unless you provoke us, of course. Of course.
I think I think it would be good for us to go and have a chat, but I think we've to be honest, we've gone beyond these. I mean, if Brenda's all they've got, the best, and Brenda's talking about dirt and air and rocks and trees as being elements, then like you've got the great grandfather Blue labeling tangent planes on drawings and talking about big humps of water at 28.5 meters. Not even acknowledging the paradox that he has to know exists. I mean, it can't have escaped him that the paradox is there. Must be tough. I mean, what do they do?
Yeah, that water, man, that's a killer for them.
Keep going back to thinking about Buster, and you know, when he says when people have accepted certain things, then they take it on as the truth, but I can't think how you would take it on that the water level is...
It's called Stockholm Syndrome. You start identifying with your captors. That's what it is. And then you fight for them. That's what they're doing.
Oh, we went over the gradient, didn't we, last night with Rumpus? That was what it was. Sorry.
They have been Stockholmed.
Do you think Blue's been Stockholmed, or has Blue done the Stockholm? Like, who would possibly have Stockholmed Blue? Like, early on?
The system. The system Stockholms, and then the person passes it on. Much like abuse, you know, when they say people that get abused abuse other people, there's a good chance. Much like that.
They internalize the commands of their oppressors.
Yeah, well said.
Are they being oppressed, though? I mean, I know that, like, a lot of the flat earthers that I meet, and I know that the amount of shit that you get given by Globers is unbelievable. Like, on every social media platform, you talk to anybody about anything now. I can't talk to anybody without being followed by WS somewhere, or some troll telling whoever I'm talking to that I don't know geometry, and I fucking like, it gets ridiculous. I know everybody has to go through all of that shit, but they're Blue, has he been like, I'm not too sure. I don't know.
Of course, bro. He went through the system. Sorry, Mike. 2 seconds. He went through the system, then he joined the army. Game over for him. What were you going to say, Mike? Sorry about that.
Basically the same thing. I mean, they internalize the commands of their oppressors, and then they become the oppressors. As children, they are, this model affliction is given to them. They are afflicted by it at a young age, and then they have inflicted on other people as they get older. Well, at least the ones we come across, inflicted on other people. They're afflicted, and they do the inflicting.
Totally agree. Yep. Totally agree.
Well, I've always feared for, I know what it's like. Whenever I talk to anybody, I seem to make trolls. Or maybe the trolls follow me round. Maybe everybody has the same sort of thing as an idea that there's always somebody there that's trolling them. Maybe you troll other people. I mean, who knows? But there's a lot of these people that do this trolling. And it's, oh man, I can't even understand why they would troll for a model. It seems counterintuitive. Surely the best idea would be to just forget about it. Because they're doing themselves an injury. They've got to be. I always wonder why they come here to check whatever they're doing. They must be coming for practice. Because they get humiliated. So why would they do it? I mean, it's obvious why they don't want to come and do it live. Because, I mean, everyone would see how badly they suck at it. Trolling or maybe globe defending. I mean, I don't know what they're trying to do. They never come with any evidence. They never come with any... And they can only show people that they haven't got a clue. And like Rumpus does, all he can do is tell you what you don't understand. He can't help you understand it.
All the time while he's Googling what a tangent is.
Yeah. Yeah, like Brenda doesn't know what an element is. Rumpus doesn't know what a tangent is. Betty probably doesn't know what logic is.
Evidently doesn't know what logic is.
Yeah. Fight the Flat Earth. He hasn't got those degrees or anything. They all just make shit up. He's probably got some physics cards and he reads up on something in the afternoon on Google. And then pretends to act all clever of a night time.
It's in the names. It's in the names, isn't it? I mean, like blue marble science. There is no science in the blue marble.
True, it's almost like an oxymoron.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like Effie dogma. He obviously doesn't understand what a dogma is.
It's like they're trying to change the meanings of words, right? They call us for doing semantics when they're obviously put misnomers and deception, sophistry, even within the names that you use.
Well, the word games start from the moment you read their names.
Yeah.
It's what a troll would do, right? Pick a name like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's Wally? Like you said, F.E. Dogma. Paid NASA shill. It's just a troll name.
Yeah. Yeah. Obvious now.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
The
Hopefully.
rumpus.
Yeah.
The rumpus, that is just the classic. And what does he do? Nothing but rumpus.
Ranty.
Right, Ranty. Is his real name Randy or something like Ranty? Like, I've never met anyone named Ranty. Just a YouTube character.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the problem, I think, that we're real. Right now, as far as I know, there isn't any characters here. And if there are any characters, they're quite good at acting like normal people. But I guess we're all acting in one way or another.
One thing's for sure, the people that are actors don't last long.
I used my real name, right, when I first started coming on to YouTube because I was just naive on how many evil people there are. And if I was just a man without a family, I'd still be using my name because I wouldn't care, right? It wouldn't bother me. But when they went after my family and doxed me and called my church and business, the first month I was on Voice, right? As soon as they found out who I was, or as soon as I came on The Voice and started a voice in my opinion, boom. They made me change my name.
Yeah.
To this day, anamorphic. Every time I'm in a chat that he's in, post my name. To this day.
I've got Chunky.
Mark Taylor.
Yeah.
Chunky. Don Watson, I think, of Jose's, had to pay $100 to get back on Jose's panel because he threatened to kill me on Jose's channel. Death threat after death threat at gyms. I wish you didn't wake up today. What are you doing here? I was hoping you died overnight. That's blatant. I mean, that's as bad as it gets in my book.
Yeah, I
Who
mean,
says that?
Yeah,
just trying to get a rise, right? But using death threats and attacks against your kids, and guy posting pictures of a girl holding up a snapper, telling everyone that's my daughter, and it's just coincidence that it looks just like my daughter. Like, I know he researched, right? I know he looked up, and researched my name and found all,
Yeah.
He knows.
Yeah.
Sick people, bro. I'm talking about sick.
Yeah.
Globers.
Well, that would be one of the things that I'd have to say, right? I do like the idea of new people coming in, but I would say that be aware if you do want to come in, please come in for a chat. Please do. But be aware that there are some nasty globers, and they've purposely made it out that we here are not very nice people because they don't want people coming here. And that's because they don't like the arguments that we've got. They don't like the way that we talk logically about stuff. But yeah, be aware that within this arena, there are some really nasty people. We want to get out of it, but I don't think there's any way for us particularly to get away from these people. They follow us everywhere. And they seem obsessed with us. They seem obsessed. I think they're obsessed with the logic. I think they can't work out why logic seems to beat their arguments every time. and they want to try and find a way to get around it. But we're all right being a small group. That's probably one of the bad things I'd have to say to people. If you want to come at the moment you enter this arena and this particular server, then everyone else out there will automatically assume that you are part of this server, and you'll probably have to answer all sorts of stupid straw men things that they've built up about what we actually do here. Simple arguments and obfuscation, avoidance techniques, I think that we'll be doing training. But mainly I think we need to talk to normal people and not the extreme model afflicted, severely model afflicted. I think we can only damage the severely model afflicted, and I don't want to hurt people. It's not really hurting, is it? I don't know. I don't want to inflict any mental pain where people realise that there's a paradox conflict of reality. We've got whatever's come in for the solar panel reflective things of all of the stuff we've done. That's a good one to base it on. Particularly seeing as we've had Professor Phil and he's still not come and talked about. You know, everybody else talk about particular things. Professor Phil's meant to be the satellite expert, but everybody else talks to us about it. Professor Phil just tells us how stupid we are. It's a bit of a bad Euclid one, that was it, or the point. I don't think we got much Euclid done. I was hoping to get over some arguments, but perhaps we're not ready for the angle and all of that. I was hoping to try and get some Al-Biruni trickery done with the angle, but guess that can wait.
They have to absorb it slowly, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
They have to give them a chance to actually absorb what's being said to them.
We've done the point. I don't know whether we might get to this straight line, or I think next week I might go over an angle. The uses of an angle. The not so many uses of an angle. There you go. That's a good title, isn't it? Euclid.
Somewhat politer than the usual phraseology.
Could you have a one-angle triangle? Would that...
That'd be a mono-angle.
What would it be called?
Monangle.
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 A monangle.
Ask Wolfie what he's doing with his monangle.
There you go. We might have just coined a phrase.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I missed part of it. Tell me what y'all are saying a monangle is?
A monangle. It's just, It's a
What's the dangle of your angle?
it's a
One angle
triangle it's a triangle, but only one angle of the triangle. It's a manangle.
one angle from one point that's dangling.
It's a triangle, but it's only it's a third. It's a third of a triangle.
A triangle.
Over 3. It's a triangle over 3.
It's a mono angle.
3. I still can't get over. 3 line of sight, straight lines to create a triangle that has refraction, but only affects things on the vertical, not the horizontal.
Yeah.
Creates spherical excess in that triangle that was created by the 3 straight lines line of sight. It's a tough sell right there, buddy. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah. And you know what is even worse? He put refraction on the vertical, which means that there goes your drop.
Right. Right. You can't have drop with that.
If you've only got refraction on the vertical, then that's obviously why it looks bad when you look in the vertical angle.
That's what I've been telling people forever anyway.
Yeah, it's
that
obviously what happens.
Seeing, not Earth curve, even in your model, it's not Earth curve.
Yeah.
It's just an optical effect as you go up. You can't see far enough. As you rise up, you're not seeing far enough to get to that horizon point changing. But on a flat plane, you're always above that plane. I seriously, that part right there is so easy to me. And if you're using your eyes, you're obviously looking down to the horizon on a flat plane. So, of course, it's, going to be affected. But Rumpus went right into, when I gave him the 6 foot above, I didn't even get to go where I wanted to go. He already made himself sound ridiculous when he brought up the optics. It's rising to the eye level, which I didn't mention eye level. I was talking about horizontal using the tools. He just diverted. I mean, he had to, right? He knew where I was going as soon as I said that.
What's that? Fireworks?
And I just spent the last hour at an airport with a contractor.
Bad
Is that me?
connection. Yeah, you've got a crackle. Oh, might have been a bit worse than he was thinking. DP, we need the not so many uses of a monangle.
Yeah.
Right, the adventures of.
Yeah.
Al Baruni.
What about
pass me my monangle?
A uniangle.
I have a stick. I like a monangle.
Monangle, yeah,
sounds better.
Yeah.
It sounds very upper class.
Mono means one alone in Greek. So
yeah.
That's why I said it.
Monangle,
yeah.
Al Baruni to his servant. Pass me my monangle. I have my stick prepared.
I got the 2 Ronnies in my head. You got a monangle. Maybe I'm more common than you, Bev. You were thinking high class. I was thinking corner shop.
I was thinking of a way how to get it on a t-shirt. You can do fuck all with an angle. Doesn't really. I don't know whether it'll work. But You can do nothing with a mun angle. What can you do with a mun angle? What can you do with a mun angle? Make a song out of it.
Buster. We could get Buster and Turn Up working on that one. What a collab that'd be.
Bob agrees. You can't do anything with just an angle. It's not quite as catchy, is it? But I can understand why Bob didn't go with you can do fuck all with an angle, because that's sort of our catchphrase, isn't it? But he's got to sort of rob it somehow. Like, 3 hours 40 odd. Get the link out. If anybody wants to come for any training on the I don't know what you call it, how to deal with in conversation with the model afflicted, you want to talk over anything, particular tactics or whatever, then that's what we're here for on the Discord server. Pop in, come and have a chat.
Lessons in recognising the sophistry are free of charge.
Yeah.
Everything's free of charge, actually.
Yeah, and it's just a conversation. Nobody has to take anything seriously, but if you've got any hints and tips or anything you want to come in. We've got a guy telling us how to use a sextant angle. Wow.
Well, does he want to pop in and
multiply that by R? Where'd you get R from? Stone Monkey. Because obviously, if you're measuring an angle, then R is you're at the vertex, and obviously the bit that you're looking at would be the distance. So obviously, if you want to do R and complete the full circle, then why would you be putting it? Well, I guess that's how you use a sextant angle. Yeah, there you go. Just imagine it in radians. Just imagine your angle is in radians. Because you can just do a direct conversion anyway. I don't think it helps you much. A radian's just the equivalent of a... Oh, yeah, apart from the fact that you have to have R. So that's not you with just an angle, is it? It's an angle in R. Assumed R. So when we say you can do fuck all with an angle, we don't think that you can just imagine a load of other shit that you don't actually have to do it. That's cheating. It's like, well, I don't actually have them. Actually have any distances or anything, but I can imagine I have. It's not cheating. Rocky is driving again, taking pictures. Look at that.
Beautiful sky, isn't it?
If you're going flying in that as well, look at that wispy cloud as well. Right. Okie dokie. So I'm going to set it up for Buster.
You're not going to show SC's voiceover work. Most excellent voiceover work, once again.
He could do, couldn't I? Yeah. Let me put it back in the chat. I didn't get a chance to load it up onto... I think I should have done well in the background while I was waiting. I'll get this out onto YouTube soon. Right, okie dokie then. Well, this is 2 minutes, so we'll sign off. Has anybody got any final words?
I'm a little bit disappointed that the conversation about the point was... Well, it was a bit short, wasn't it? But, at the end of the day, it's one of those elemental... what is it? You can't describe it, but you need it. You need the utility it gives you. So, it can't really be a long, drawn-out conversation about such a simple thing, I think.
Wow. Okie dokie.
Hold on, I like to say one thing. I like what Rakia said. Like the point, the line, geometry. That's shows God's handiwork. Now, I don't believe in the same God, but I believe in a creator. So yeah, I really like that. And you can see that. I always say you can see that in a wasp's nest, the beehive, the shapes, the shell, right? So yeah,
it's in everything.
Yep, It's all around us.
Yeah,
that's it.
Geometry everywhere. Okie dokie.
Yeah,
we go. I because I'm playing this on the Discord, I'll not be able to mute the stream. So, all right, we're going. 2 minutes. We'll be off. See you later, everyone. Next, Free for All Friday tomorrow.
Good afternoon, all, from the Next Level Discord server. This is a logical breakdown of the point and line. Does a point exist until it is defined? Pick a point on this page. Will we pick the same one? Maybe this one? Or this one? Maybe this one? Or this one? Maybe this one? How about this one? A point is arbitrary until it is given a location. Location gives a point utility. Here is mine, an arbitrary point, given a location, a point with utility. How do we construct a line from this point? A straight line lays evenly between 2 points. So, bam! The amount of distance between the 2 points is dependent on the line's utility. A straight line has no deviation in any direction. A line is the real-world representation of a one-dimensional concept. It will always take the shortest path between the 2 established points, never deviating from that path in any direction. But how can we prove it? Well, there are many proofs within Euclidean geometry. Consequently, there are many proofs of our reality within geometry. Euclid builds from the baseline proof upon proof. Geometric proof with Euclid is the simplicity of the line and form. There is nothing complicated. Simple logical steps. A straight line has no curve ever. That means ever. Thank you for listening.